Alrighty. Alright, yo, what is good? I should be live. Let's see. Alright, yo. Nice. Alright, so I just saw that Tucker Carlson's premiering, so
people.
I thought I would just watch this video. I was just watching video in the comments. I didn't have my headphones on, but yeah, apparently he's going defending Trump and shit. Now, I've already made an episode about that. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I don't want to rewatch all that. Let's go ahead and check it on Tucker Carlson. What's he say? So this is malicious. He's probably talking about Trump being indicted. Wait, let me go get some to drink real quick. Alright, boys. Lock her up. Oh shit, he's talking about Hillary Clinton. I don't even know what this is. What the fuck is this? Who cares, actually? Alright, cool. So I have this shit. I'm sure a lot of you will call me gay for drinking that. And,
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson.
Well,
Happy
you're wrong.
Tuesday, another day of rumors and thinly sourced news stories. Ooh, what's new? These about when and where Donald Trump will be arrested, fingerprinted, and photographed against a cinder block wall for his mugshot.
Although, has that been confirmed? Because, yeah, last time he said we don't know if this is going to happen. Fuck, is this for sure now?
This is true. Once again, we cannot say. Here's what we know. A Soros-funded prosecutor in New York, a man who ran on the promise to indict Trump, seems to be working hard to indict
And by the way, this is gonna be fucking hilarious because, yeah, if you would have known that the next January 6th would have been funded by George Soros, it's like, dude, when we tried to rightfully dethrone Trump, look what fucking happened. When Trump didn't win the election and he was rightfully therefore dethroned, look what happened. Well, we sort of had to dethrone him because he didn't win the election, and we can't really just just be nice to him, I guess. And dude, I'm so fucking high. Y'all know the drill, right? Y'all fucking know. Well, y'all don't because I don't have friends. So I got 84 subscribers. One or two of them may watch my videos sometimes. If I'm lucky, which is sort of gay. I mean, the rest of them are, I guess. But there's nothing wrong with that, okay? Dude, I'm getting really way off topic, right? So, dude, it's pretty fucking funny about this election shit. It's like, yeah, when you tried to rightfully dethrone Donald Trump, look what happened, January 6th. Well, you sort of don't fucking have to indict him now, do you? If you even rightfully, imprison Donald Trump, what the fuck do you think is going to happen, dog? You don't need to do that. In fact, Ron DeSantis has higher odds of beating Donald Trump in it. I'm very sorry. And, wasn't George Soros the guy who said... I think people were saying that he backed Ron DeSantis, and, I have never heard anything about George Soros other than, this one show Tucker Carlson did on him that I watched. But apparently he's, sort of, source of left-wing money, which apparently these are rare, but, well, here's one, and, dude, I forgot what I was going with that, but, they're trying to fund Trump being fucking imprisoned. What the hell do you think that is going to lead to? Oh yeah, I was talking about the DeSantis thing, dude, if you really want the left to win, wasn't he the guy who was saying, well, I sort of hope that DeSantis wins the primary, not because I like Ron DeSantis, that's where people were sort of, getting confused and misquoting him. Apparently he was just saying, Yeah, I would like Ron DeSantis to win the primary because knowing Trump, he'll probably run as an independent, and yeah, he'll just split the Republican votes, like pretty much handing the win over to Democrats. And like it'd make sense, especially being one of the only left-wing morning people, that he would do that. I mean, yeah, and it would also make sense that a lot of the big businesses, all of that shit, like they'll pretend to be left wing because that's a populist thing. I love how everyone tries to accuse Tucker of being a populist when he's fucking right wing. Yeah, the popular thing to do is to not go with your morals and just say, well, we don't care if we're stealing stuff from people, we deserve this stuff more than they do. And the capitalist position, the more moral position, is well, that's not your fucking right to make. That is not your choice to make. It's not your choice to make what is the right thing to do with somebody else's money, whether or not it benefits the greater good. That person doesn't owe you anything, just because they were born in the same world as you, and they happen to be more fortunate where they live. Like, they aren't your fucking servants. The rich aren't servants to the fucking middle class. They should do that out of the kindness of their heart, but, well, you shouldn't be forced to be a good person. You should just be forced not to abuse other people, but not helping other people, that's neutral. Like, using your money as you please in a selfish way, as long as you don't maliciously go out of your way to hurt other people with it, like, yeah, that's pretty much the, like, Republican position. So, no shit, there wouldn't be a lot of left-wing people backing the Democratic Party, and, like, you'd imagine if there are any, like, they'd probably be like Bernie Sanders, people who I would really disagree with, but, like, it really seems he has a genuine point of view. I've heard that from pretty much everybody, and it seems that way to me. So, yeah, I don't really ever hear him speak, though. I don't really look at him, but yeah, anyway, like, look, this is why I make these live streams. I just go on a fucking insane tangent, and, like, yeah, I just start talking about anything. Like, I did not think there would be that many things to oh, look, tuna. You know what? I got sort of an idea, right? Yeah, let me sort of go ahead and like my own live stream. This is not a new idea. Like, I sort of do that and shit. XD. Like, fuck yeah, dude. What? Oh, yeah, fucking course I have that. Yeah, whatever, you know what? Chen Cougar is sort of a fucking moron, so. So, yo! Bro, I have not seen you in a while, my nigga. How you doing? Yo. Well, I am very much not sober, and I am talking about Tucker Carlson. Dude, I feel so bad. I feel so bad for you. I don't know who that is, because, like, bro, like, I know you don't care fucking at all about all this shit and all this topic. Like, I'm just sort of autistic, so like, it took me a long time to sort of grow away from Minecraft and into a more edgy cancer hole. And I sort of moved into it because it was an edgy Dude, 3 lakes? I am digging that. Alright, well. You know what? That's pretty fucking epic in shit, I guess. Let me see.
Indicting him for a crime that no one even pretends is a crime, including the federal agency that has already investigated it and declared it not a crime.
Yeah, so by the way, I agreed with him, and that was very peculiar, because I had just seen, like he said that whole thing. He made a video about it. Let me see, like, his last video, and it was very interesting, because Secular Talk, somebody who, by the way, I deeply respect Secular Talk, Tal Kalinske, but like, he made a video, him, and, like, I think the Humanist Report might have too, where they were saying, dude, like, all the right-wingers, like, they were sort of just outraged about Trump and just saying, oh, this isn't a crime, but they didn't really go over all the stuff and be like, here's exactly why it is not a crime. But then Tucker Carlson, he did just that, like, within a few hours after Kal Kalinske posting that video. Oh god, this is more stuff about Ukraine. He looks really young in that for some reason. Maybe I'm just high. But, yeah, he talked about that in this video. We're not really gonna go over it, but, like, that's the one. So apparently Trump paid hush money to a hooker. And actually, we might look back over it because he made a pretty good point that I hadn't thought about.
Combination of natural ingredients that will help you poop out pounds of old rotten waste in your colon.
Either way, yeah, I think it is fair to say Trump has done some bad things that he maybe should be indicted for, such as apparently he took a bribe from Saudi Arabia and funded them doing a genocide in Yemen. And he just got rich off that. He just took their campaign money, took their bribes, like, for personal gains and shit. And then, like, he just allowed them to do that and even funded it. Yeah, that shit, okay, indict him for that, fine. To pay hush money to a hooker, like, that's his right. That's just privacy shit. If he doesn't want that information to come out, like, I guess, like, morally speaking, it is a privacy issue. If somebody tells you, like, especially now that I'm in in the spotlight, so there's a clear reason for someone not to want that stuff to come out. If they're telling you, like, this is sort of my private life, and I don't want to bring it into the public, like, morally speaking, it is completely immoral for them to do it anyway. But people aren't all necessarily kind people. Some of them might also have no respect for Donald Trump because a lot of people hate him and don't think he's a good person. They might even be right. I don't really know the guy that well. But, like, I mean, yeah, it should be your right to disclose, hey, by the way, I was in a relationship with this guy. By the way, that happened. Like, unless y'all signed a contract to keep that private, which obviously that didn't happen. Yeah, it's her right. And if he doesn't want that to come out, if he's like, look, here's a deal, I'll pay you money, and you, like, that's private business. It's dirty, and it's not dirty on Trump's side, by the way. Trump denies it, probably because it's true, and that's probably why he pays hush money. But either way, like, to keep false allegations, if you don't want to go to the court trial because it's not like you have evidence that this stuff isn't true, yeah, like, Tucker pointed out that apparently politicians do this all the time, so let me try to see. Like, he went really thoroughly into everything, and that was very clarifying on the whole situation.
Crime in sending money to Stormy Daniels. We don't have to guess. Consider the case of former North Carolina Senator John Edwards. Edwards was often described...
Yeah, he sort of went on a tangent, like, making a parallel to a Democrat where... It was probably towards the end.
Now, if this were true, it would constitute a misdemeanor, and the statute of limitations has already run out for that, for the bookkeeping error.
Apparently, Ben Shapiro put out on Twitter that apparently the judge, like, the person who is seeking to prosecute Trump, has literally pledged not to make such things as what they're trying to indict Trump on. Not prosecute those as more than misdemeanors. And that's probably because Democrats are trying to, like, ease penalties for crimes. Like, not sure why the fuck they're doing that. I guess they just believe more in second chances, but, this isn't gonna stop the amount of crime, dog. It's like, you gotta think about it in terms of public safety, because these people committed, like, they hurt those around them, they broke the law, you guess, they committed crimes, they were, like, they wronged somebody else. They sorta aren't in a position where, like, you should consider their rights as a priority over the rights of the public, who was the innocent party, to be safe. So, like, as much as I could completely agree, yeah, like, even if you stole from the store or some shit. Even if you, I could argue, even if you, I don't know, fucking, stole $5,000 from somebody or from some organization, you might not be a horrible person and you might not deserve to be in jail for 5 years. Like, you might deserve to be just, I don't know, fucking handled, like, adult handled, and, be fucking explained to, look, like, be taught your lesson in a better way, in a more constructive way that is more helpful to you and that is more fair to you. But the whole goal in prosecuting crime is to be more fair to the public while being as fair as reasonably possible to the people who are actually not innocent. So,
assuming it even happened. But Bragg apparently is thinking about charging Trump under a felony version of the business records law, one that punishes businesses for falsifying records as a way to commit another separate crime. That would be the campaign finance violation, which, as we mentioned, was not a campaign finance violation, and we know that from the FEC, which polices campaign finance violations. The White House or the Biden DOJ is a turning point for the country. Now, the headline criticizing the ruling class.
Oh, no, I love the point he made here. Like, yeah, Tucker wouldn't go after Republicans now, wouldn't he? Okay, buddy.
I mean, though as long as we are indicting retired presidents, where are the charges against George W. Bush for invading Iraq under false pretenses and giving permanent normalized trade relations to China, which completely wrecked our economy? Where are those charges? Don't hold your breath. In Washington, wrecking your own country is not considered a crime.
Yeah, so, Tucker isn't two-faced. He's not. So that's been debunked. So I think he probably made that a point earlier on.
My name is Tyler Devereaux. I'm inviting you to attend my brand new 2-hour live masterclass.
Why does YouTube still fucking have that? They also still have BetterHelp, which, like, a debated podcast, literally debunked. And, like, everybody, like Shane Dawson, a guy who I'm sure YouTube knows, they completely tore down BetterHelp as a scam, but YouTube has more ads on them now than ever, which is insane.
Its own incoherence. So Obama's lawyers argued that any Tawana Brawley-era Al Sharpton. So we would assume, on the basis of that evidence, that it's pretty likely Trump does get charged. Justice must be blind, or else it is in public. Trump, through his then attorney, Michael Cohen, sent Stormy Daniels a check. Was that legal? Well, we can answer that question. Because there was a campaign in progress at the time, officials at the Federal Election Commission later examined the transaction between Trump and Stormy Daniels. Federal investigators concluded that nothing criminal had taken place. And in fact, settlements like this, whatever you think of them, are common, both among famous people, celebrities, and in corporate America. The result is usually known as an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. In this case, you can believe whatever side you want to believe, but paying people not to talk about things, hush money, is ordinary in modern America. According to the FEC, there was no need for Donald Trump to report his payments to Stormy Daniels.
Yeah, and the whole argument is he'll debunk, by the way, is that, oh, well, he was using campaign donations for that. He shouldn't get to do that. Well, he debunked that too, by the way.
Money that he sent her through his attorney, subject to campaign finance limitations. The FEC determined the entire thing was a personal expenditure. It clearly was. So what is the crime here? Well, the media don't seem very interested in finding out. This is Donald Trump. He's a criminal. Everything he does is a crime.
He probably said it later on.
Simply because he may have committed worse.
Yeah, but like he explained why it wasn't a crime for him to be using campaign money for it, which I would never have thought of that, but it's a great point. The man's souls
that he Scarborough, ladies and gentlemen, telling us what a crime is. A crime with a woman. Okay. There's Al Sharpton lecturing us about the Bible. It's hilarious. Oh, the hypocrisy. But it didn't really answer the question. Why are we handcuffing Donald Trump? Liberals don't seem to care at all as long as it happens, as long as Trump gets handcuffed. But in fact, there's plenty of evidence that Trump committed no crime in sending money to Stormy Daniels. We don't have to guess. Consider the case of former North Carolina Senator John Edwards.
Bro, you know what I should get right now? Fucking tackies, dude. And I should also check my chat. I'm fucking retarded and gay. Yeah, that's why I'm losing. Oh my god. Yo. Dude, this guy I've not... Yo, how are you doing? This is the most recent subscriber I have. I read somewhere that you approve of the government banning the gays. Let's fucking go. Oh, hell yeah, dude. The government? I don't think the government should be the ones doing that. But I definitely think it should be done. XD. XD, dude. I'm so fucking high. XD. Dude, I need to shut the fuck up. What? Like, oh my god. This is cringe. Well, you know what? I got my tackies, and it's fire. So, but you know what? Let me go get my pickaxe. Yeah, some good shit. We have the firecrackers right here, you know. Like if this stream gets lit, nice. Where the fuck are my headphones, dude? You should pin what comment. I'm pretty sure every comment that is left, like, on live chat is gonna be deleted. And I can't even do anything about that. Bro, talking about that, I know there's a whole different thing, but I love to go on tangents. Motherfucker, YouTube censoring comments did not used to happen. And by the way, like, for a pretty long time, I'm seeing this is starting to get a little bit less common now, but, like, for the longest time, like, comments that people would leave would just get deleted by YouTube, and they would blame you for it. They'd be like, why are you so authoritarian? Why are you censoring me? Why are you pro-censorship? And it'd be funny as hell, because they'd literally think you're authoritarian when it's like, no, actually what you're describing is YouTube. That is what they do. And actually Twitter, Elon Musk was supposed to fix that. I'm very disappointed in him. It's like, Elon Musk really was the... Oh, dude, I don't follow this account. Like, I fucking don't, right? Why does it keep popping up? This is just cringe. Like, I mean, all they do is talk about trans people. And it's like, dude, I'm sure she has a genuine point of view. I'm sure even Matt Walsh has a genuine point of view. I disagree with what he has to say on every level, but I'm sure he has a... Oh, dude. It's like, I sort of don't want to be scrolling up and seeing some person who, like, from, I don't know, from here up to there looks like a woman, and from here down to here looks like a man, and from here over here looks like a woman. That is sort of, I don't know, Vsauce made a video called Creepy or something. That's sort of not something you expect to see, and I'm sure trans people usually don't try to look like that. Like, they look for specifically the trans people who try to be cringe. Probably the ones with autism, who are just, like, I don't know, super antisocial, have really weird behaviors. But, like, most trans people, they try to look normal. They don't... Like, if they're doing that, they're probably trolling you. They're probably trying to parody the conservatives and be like, yeah, I'm gonna look fucking just like what you're saying we look like. Just to see if that's even possible. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, but...
Edwards was often described as a fiery liberal, but in fact he was a populist. He ran for president twice, and in the process, infuriated the leaders of the Democratic Party by talking way too much about income inequality. They really hated him for that. Long could take federal matching funds, tax dollars, to buy Ferraris, a campaign expenditure sent to his girlfriend amounted to campaign contributions.
Dude, actually, this whole thing...
But in fact, there's plenty of evidence that Trump committed no crime in sending money to Stormy Daniels. We don't have to guess. Consider the case of former North Carolina Senator John Edwards.
That's who did the whole
Edwards was often described as a fiery liberal, but in fact, he was a populist. He ran for president twice, and in the process, infuriated the leaders of the Democratic Party by talking way too much about income inequality. They really hated him for that. Long after Edwards left office, Barack Obama's DOJ charged him with federal finance violations. So the premise of the case against John Edwards was that he had received $1 million in gifts and that he spent that money in hush money payments to his mistress, with whom he later had a child. Obama's DOJ argued that the money that Edwards sent to his girlfriend amounted to campaign contributions. Edwards never reported that money, so Obama's DOJ tried to send him to prison. Well, in the end, the case fell apart under the weight of its own incoherence. So Obama's lawyers argued that any payment that could conceivably help a political candidate politically is by definition a campaign expenditure. There's no law that says that, by the way, they just made it up. But if you think about it for a second, it doesn't make sense. If that were true, flip it around. It would mean that candidates could use donor money and also taxpayer money in the form of federal matching funds to pay for any personal expense as long as that expense could conceivably benefit them politically. So candidates could take federal matching funds, tax dollars, to buy Ferraris as long as they argued those Ferraris would appear in campaign ads, et cetera, et cetera.
And by the way, the thing with that is, Trump has a public image. It's like, yeah, risking this shit coming out, especially if it's true and he knows he's gonna be insecure about it if he's called out on it, because it's like, especially Trump being the upfront guy that he is, he's not really good at faking. I mean, he says a lot of dumb shit, but he actually believes in what he's saying, even though it's fucking retarded. I'm sure he really believes the election was stolen from him, just because he has to convince himself that everyone likes him. But yeah, like, when Trump wants to send hush money, it's like such allegations, especially like, consider the idea that it's not true. Consider the idea that this is not true, and Trump knows if this person goes and says maybe this person knows him, and he thinks, yeah, it would be reasonable for people to believe this person were they to say this, and that would hurt my reputation, and that would hurt my chances in the primaries in the like general election. It would hurt my chances. So yeah, that would hurt him politically if he was to not do that. Whether it's true or not true, I don't really care, honestly. It says I care more about him giving Saudi Arabia just taking donations from them and then just letting them commit a genocide and even funding it. I care more about that than him having an affair with someone. Like, it's his fucking business, who cares? But
it's nonsensical.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely insane to convict him over that. Like, it's just stupid. Like, all they're gonna get out of this is another January 6th. And it's like, DeSantis, it's already looking like in the polls, if he gets to... I'm pretty sure Trump would get to run from prison. And everybody's saying, well, dude, like, if you go to prison, like, no, in the general elections, like, of course his ratings are gonna go up, but in the general election, it's like, you're just not gonna win, motherfucker. You're just not gonna... Dude, who's the president in Brazil right now? The guy was in prison. And sure, he was imprisoned by Bolsonaro, his political opponent, for being his main rival. Like, at least that's what I've heard, and I believe that. I've heard Bolsonaro was a dictator, more or less, but... Yeah, that's the story I've heard most. That's what I'm going with. And, guess what people believed? Yeah, he was wrongfully imprisoned by the dictator Bolsonaro. And, well, he got to, well, run and win against Bolsonaro, and now he's the president. Guess what? He used to be in jail. Well, most Trump supporters, which, like, it'd be the opposite in that country. It'd be most left-wing people. Yes, most right-wing, at least Trump supporters, well, they would believe, well, even they believe, that any charges that might be brought up against Trump, they'll be bogus. You know what? At least as long as Trump says they're bogus. They're by definition bogus. I'm sure most left-wingers would agree with me on that particular point. I'm sure most Trump supporters would say, dude, like, as long as Trump, they wouldn't say that, but, like, as long as Trump would say it's bogus, they'd completely fucking agree with them. Like, unless he said, yeah, you know what, I admit I did that, whatever. Like, dude, so it might be the same shit, like, they also believe he was wrongfully imprisoned, just like the guy who actually just won the general election in Brazil, so, I mean, okay, buddy.
So not surprisingly, John Edwards was acquitted in that case. It was a humiliating defeat for the Obama administration, but it also sent a clear message and set a precedent, which Alvin Bragg apparently is ignoring. So we don't know that an indictment's coming, as noted, and if it does come, we're not sure what it's going to say. We haven't seen it. But if Trump is indicted for sending money to Stormy Daniels, well, you'll...
Alright, I guess I want to know. Let me go back to this. Let me see my chat. Dude, Taki's
so
a fucking
in Manhattan,
hit.
tomorrow, what will certainly be an overwhelmingly liberal grand jury will meet, and unless something unexpected happens, Democrats will have taken the unprecedented step of using a corrupt justice system to take out the frontrunner in the Republican presidential field in a presidential race. And if that happens, America will never be the same. You've got to hope that for the sake of the country...
I mean, to be fair, I think it's fair to say, if somebody commits a crime, yeah, justice should be blind, but, like, Tucker just refuted, like, yeah, this isn't blind justice. Why else would they be convicting him on specifically this when he did much worse? Like, fucking undeniably so. He's done much worse than that, and, him using his rights to privacy, that's what we're gonna indict him on. Like, I guess it's sort of like, my mother just pointed that out, and she's a fucking, like, full-fledged liberal on this, like, full-fledged libtard in this, like, political thing, but, dude, she was sort of like, yeah, sort of like, what, Alcatraz, or whatever the fuck his name is, the tax, it's like, yeah, he should get to keep his money, like, he shouldn't be imprisoned because he didn't let his money be stolen from him. That's absurd. And, well, I think that's a bogus charge because morally speaking, theft is wrong, but I think this is a bogus charge because both morally speaking and legally speaking, it's fucking retarded, so... Yeah, either way, I think Trump is also sort of retarded, but I think that sort of makes him cute and funny, and I want him to run and win in 2024. As I've said, I'm very salty that I missed out on 4 years of Trump when I wasn't really into politics, but with all that said, I'm gonna go get some more water. Yeah, let me just put that right here. Dude, this has a little bit of fucking glue on it. I don't know why the fuck I'm telling y'all about this. By the way, let me get, like, all this shit off my desk and put it on the ground, because I'm a faggot. The Lord is coming back soon. That's fucking hilarious.
The Biden White House, which will be running against Trump, will put the country above partisanship and stop this.
Fucking current
DOJ
views.
will issue a very public statement saying
Was
wrong,
good,
which
bro.
it is, and therefore
wait,
for
by the way, motherfucker, I think I know you. Was good, bro. How you doing? What's that? Yo. What's good? Alright, looks like we have, what, 4 to 5 likes? That's pretty epic. Dude, you know what? I have an idea. I could put that on 144p, like that my internet doesn't get over flooded, and now, guess what? Looks like we have, what, I have 5 viewers. I'm fucking big brain and shit. Okay, back to the video.
Our justice system. As of tonight, that doesn't seem to be happening. In fact, as of tonight, it's not just Trump who is the target of this, it's Trump's voters. The Biden administration is in the process of preparing yet another law enforcement dragnet of more than 1,000 nonviolent January 6 protesters. These are not people who broke windows or tussled with cops. These are patriotic Americans who dared to question the official story of the 2020 election. They watched with the rest of us as COVID was used as a pretext to eliminate longstanding barriers to voter fraud. They saw Democratic partisans.
By the way, I disagree with that whole thing between the election thing. I know Tucker disagrees with it. And he sort of wants to go on this tangent now. Like, he must be hating his fucking life right now, having to do all that shit. Like, I fucking feel for him, man, I guess. But, yeah, the COVID thing, I also think that's fucking stupid. Yeah, by the way, he isn't vaccinated, in case you're still wondering his vaccine status. For the longest time, he said, yeah, by the way, I'm not gonna release my vaccine status because I sorta believe in the right to privacy. It's like, how about you get the fuck off my business and don't ask me these private questions? So it's like, I think it's fair to ask, but power to him for thinking that, I guess. And yeah, everybody tried to assume his like his motive. Oh well, you're just saying that because if you showed your vaccine status, it would just show that you're a fraud because you'd be vaccinated. And I'd argue, even if he was vaccinated, like, that doesn't prove anything. Maybe that proves that, like, he's unsure, but he's just spreading vaccine skepticism because, well, firstly, the news was coming on as it went, so maybe he could have taken the vaccine before knowing of it. And on top of that, as he discussed in his thing, well, if you don't take the vaccine, you sort of can't go to certain places, being student such and such. And it's like, yeah, if you can't do all that shit, why wouldn't Tucker Carlson take any risks that he might bring up to the vaccine thing? He never claimed that it was everybody dying of it. So it's like, yeah, even if he was vaccinated, I don't think that would have made him a hypocrite, but yeah, he's never been vaccinated. Like, after the whole COVID thing sort of died down, like, yeah, he sort of admitted, no, by the way, I was never vaxxed, so.
Zuckerberg spent nearly $500 million to influence the mechanics of voting, including in critical...
Isn't that the owner of Facebook, who's actually a very left-wing guy, at least on stage? No idea how he is off stage. Probably a capitalist, but...
Swing states.
No idea.
Nevertheless, as they watched the news on the night of November 3rd, Trump seemed to be winning re-election. And then they woke up, and smug TV anchors are telling them that actually, a senile man who refused to campaign had won the biggest landslide in American history. He got 15 million more votes than Barack Obama. They were skeptical. They did not buy that. So they went to Washington to protest. They thought that was their right. And as a result, January 6th. That was more than 2 years ago. What did these people look like? Well, one of them was Jacob Chansley.
I was sort of zoned down. I mean, like,
more votes than Barack Obama.
What?
A senile man who refused to campaign had won the biggest landslide in American history.
I mean, Mitt Romney was way less hated than Trump, to be fair.
15 million more votes than Barack Obama. They were skeptical. They did not buy that. So they went to Washington to protest. They thought that was their right. And as a result,
yeah, Joe Biden sort of went on, I'm not Trump. And you saw Trump's abysmal approval ratings when he was sort of leaving office. It wasn't that great. Biden sort of ran on those numbers and crushed them. He just took the disapproval rating that Trump had, and that was sort of his approval rating, because he was sort of the only other candidate. He sort of crushed Bernie. They sort of organized to sort of, yeah, just beat him out, not give him a fair chance. So if you want to claim the election is stolen from, the election was stolen from Bernie, shut up, racist. But, yeah, that's true, by the way. It sort of wasn't. Tucker Carlson has brought that up.
January 6th. That was more than 2 years ago.
Democrats don't want you to get to talk about that.
What did these people look like? Well, one of them was Jacob Kansley. We played you video of him several weeks ago.
Dude, you should be able to question whatever you want. It might be irresponsible if you want. What law says you have to be fucking responsible? Should kids all go to fucking prison? Like, should retards go to prison too? They're probably irresponsible. You have to be rational. What law says that your speech has to be good? What law says that if you're going to speak, you have to say good things? No, you can be an asshole, you can be retarded, you could say dumb things that are not true, as long as you don't defame someone's character. Like, you should get to say whatever you want. Like, even if it's bullshit. Question elections, especially if you really believe the election was stolen from you. Yeah. You should get to say that in public, and things like misinformation, that's the easiest type of speech to refute. Why shut it down when you could shut it down with facts and logic? That's the easiest speech to refute, and when instead of doing that, you're giving it the free talking point of why the fuck did you bother censoring a clown? Why are you taking a clown so seriously? Do you have something to hide? And clearly you fucking do, because now we can't really see what you were trying to hide, because it's hidden. So it's like, even if this is misinformation, even if it really is, which clearly a lot of it is, it's like you're just so stupid, because if it is, under those circumstances, transparency is the best thing you could have. And clearly these people aren't always genuine. Clearly the left isn't always genuine. As soon as George Floyd's murder happened, CNN and the entire left, like, they jumped on the fucking wagon. They jumped on the clickbait. They clickbaited the fuck out of George Floyd's death, because it gave them the ammunition they had always wanted to start their new race war, which they were clearly in need of, since they weren't gonna let go of trying to make racism real again, because it gave them some shit to virtue signal about, except now it's just virtue signaling, because that shit is, I mean, back then they weren't virtue signaling, they were, I don't really care about history, I don't know where I'm going with this, but, yeah, like, they're just trying to virtue signal about, oh, fucking racism, and it's like, motherfucker, I already, like, finished that sentence, aren't I sorta going in circles? Well, I sort of forgot what the fuck I was saying, so let me, keep on. Dude, I'm so fucking high, like, Jesus Christ. You should pop out the YouTube chat. Yeah, I mean, I should learn to do that, but I'm sort of too stupid to, like, find out how to do it, so. Yeah, it sucks, man. I'm oppressed. I'm black. Nice. I would love to sue oceans and cars. That'd be great. I'll have a video on that for my 100 sub special. I've already recorded, by the way. I want to touch your pickaxe. That's fucking hilarious. That's... Fuck it, you're gay, I guess. K-pop? What's K-pop? No, I would never do that. Dude, that's fucking amazing. Yeah, bro, I thought she had died for some reason. I don't know what made me think that, but... Dude, wanna touch pickaxes. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sort of not gay, but a K-pop singer. Fucking whatever. Hell yeah, I guess. Don't ignore me. Yes, yes, I will. Never be mad about it. XD. Why the fuck can I not hear this? Gay? What? 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 What in what? Is my headphone not? The fuck is this?
Actually doing inside the Capitol.
Okay, now it's, now I can hear sound great. Oh wait, this is, my webcam's gonna...
Here's video of Chansley in the Senate chamber. Capitol police officers take him to multiple entrances and even try to open locked doors for him. We counted at least 9 officers who were within touching distance of unarmed Jacob Chansley. Not one of them even tried to slow him down.
And well, to be fair, I've heard, apparently that's because, well, if they're gonna arrest him, what the fuck they gonna do with him right there? But he was a non-violent protester. He was non-violent. In fact, he was just clowning. I've heard he was even mentally disabled, like severely mentally disabled. And he was forced to take a bad, like, plea or something. Like, it was, they put him in a bad position, but, like, the guy was mentally disabled. He wasn't violent, as we all know. He is one of the, maybe the most well-known person other than Trump, in this whole thing. Like, the most, yeah, like him and Ashley Babbitt are, like, the only 2 people who are really being talked about in regards to January 6th. But, like, dude, the guy was non-violent. He was clearly disabled or trolling. Apparently he was disabled. I always thought he was just a fucking epic guy trolling, which he was, by the way. He also was. But the guy's in prison. That was sort of Tucker's point when he showed... Like, everybody was like, oh, dude, look at Tucker just cherry-picking the non-violent... Yeah, and that's why at the beginning he showed violent clips. And then he's like, well, they told you it was omni-violent. Well, dude, it's not really what you... Like, you were shown these clips, right? But did you see these clips? Yeah, like, what do you think Tucker's point is in that? Why would he not just show the non-violent clips since, I mean, he's already, still saying that, the election is stolen when Dominion won the lawsuit and he's not even covering it. But, like, yeah, at that point, he might just as well fucking not even show the footage of them being violent. Say it was just a non-violent protest. Well, his point in showing the violent protests and then showing, yeah, by the way, they were also these people. The point in showing them is to say, these people in jail, by the way, why are they in jail? There was a, like, maybe these other people were over there, maybe just in the next scene doing all that stuff, but they were walking. Some of them, that's all they did. Why were they in jail? That was obviously his point. If his point was to say, well, no, these people are actually not violent, he wouldn't have shown the ones who fucking were. Like, that shit is absurd.
Chansley understood that Capitol Police were his allies. Video shows him giving thanks for them in a prayer on the floor of the Senate.
And, like, I thought that was him trolling. Maybe it's because he was disabled. I have no idea. Maybe both.
So that's what Jacob Chansley actually did.
And why
There
didn't
were
they
people on January 6th who committed violence. They have been arrested.
Well.
Jacob Chansley did not commit violence. By the way, he was arrested. He's spending 4 years in prison.
It's fucking
1,000
insane.
people have already been arrested for that. And most of them did what Jacob
Like, he
Chansley
just
did.
went along with, like, all the other people. Donald Trump apparently was trying to come with them. It's like, dude, he wasn't violent. He was just there with so many other people. He was just in the people's home, apparently, they call the Capitol. And he was just marching around just like everybody else was. Exactly. old piece of it shit that had some, some stuff covered on it. But, yeah, the guy wasn't violent. He should not be in jail for 4 years. I think that's insane.
They walked through what we used to call the people's house, and some of them are still in prison tonight. So you assumed that ugly story was over, at least the law enforcement component of it. But no, it's not over. It's just getting started. The Biden administration has identified 1,000 additional Trump voters for non-crimes that they claim took place on January 6th, mostly walking, as Jacob Chansley did. In recent months, according to a story in the Washington Post, U.S. Attorney Matthew Graves, a willing tool of the Biden administration, has written to court officials, quote, alerting them that an additional 700 to 1,200 people may be charged stemming from January 6th. How many is that? Well, this will...
Why now? Like, what even is the point? If they had, like, killed people, they would already be in prison. And it's like, dude, did they commit more violence since? Like, do you have a reason to still be arresting them this fucking late? As Tucker pointed out, like, is he still talking about the Black Lives Matter protests? They were violent too, some of them. And I'm sure some people were non-violent over there too. Like, should we have listened to Trump and just taken the army to the Black Lives Matter protests? Should we, in fact, just do what the libs do and, like, everybody who was at the Black Lives Matter protests, at the Black Lives Matter riots, everybody who was out on the streets that day, if they had a Black Lives Matter sign, yeah, just put them in prison. Okay, like, right now, take them and put them all in prison. Doesn't matter. Yeah, let's just do that. Is that fair? Now, apparently, these people are not supposed to go into the fucking building, into the Capitol building, but I mean, apparently it's called the People's House, and this is not the first time he's mentioned this, so, I mean, that's gotta be, some to that, but yeah, the Black Lives Matter people, Tucker showed clips of that too. They were also breaking into stores. They were looting, of course, a fucking liquor store and other shit. It's like, should everybody, because some of them were doing that, like, should everybody who was at the Black Lives Matter riots, everybody who was out on the streets that day, like, just jail them. That sounds like some not even Trump would do. Like, he would just be the type to call the army in, which I disagree with that. But then the trucker protest, what did Trudeau do? But the Democrats didn't seem mad about that now, did they?
Constitute the largest investigation in the history of the Department of Justice by an order of magnitude. This dragnet is so vast that prosecutors are warning D.C. jails and prisons will be overrun with prisoners. Prisoners you can, at this point, only describe as political prisoners. The Washington Post reports that, quote, in recent...
Except if they were violent and injured some people, maybe killed, maybe damaged property, broke stuff. And to be fair, Tucker showed a clip not too long ago, actually, of the Black Lives Matter Antifa riots literally just wrecking the fucking building of CNN. Yeah, who knows, maybe they finally got some sense in them and they were mad at CNN for using George Floyd as ammunition to start a new race war that would only hurt them too, because identity politics just fuels some more identity politics, which eventually goes in both directions. When there's hate directed at a group of people claiming that, well, the opposite race is a superior race, well, some irrational people on that other race will start doing the same stuff and not getting like, well, if I do it, it's wrong for the same reasons. Just because I'm doing it, and it's sort of like if somebody killed my brother, and I killed their brother. It's like their brother didn't do shit to fucking me now, did they? So, no, that's not a fair thing to do, just fucking kill them. But, yeah, like you blaming a whole race because of some people in that race being racist, that is irrational, that is... But then, like, people will do that, because some people are stupid, and that's sort of human instinct to some extent. That's why we have to correct our human instincts. Well, either way, I said a lot. I didn't really listen to a lot, but let's see that. Damn, lots of stuff, let's go. 6 concurrent views. What in the hell? That is not very typical. Who is your bias? No idea what that is. My bias? Like my bias? Like what I believe. What? You're gay. Okay. Black. No, I'm not. You're gay. I think you were saying that as a joke. By the way, I'm not actually homophobic. I just think the word faggot sounds pretty epic. Especially if you combine it with the word nigger. Then it becomes double funny. It's like, imagine having a fire alarm for libtards and not ringing it. Like, the fuck? I mean, what else do you want me to say? I'm so high right now. Great stuff. Oh, shit, I just lost a viewer. Gay.
In months, law enforcement and judicial authorities have engaged in discussions to manage this huge volume of January 6th cases without overwhelming the courthouse where pleas and trials are held. This is depraved, and it's...
I didn't even know. I was zoned out.
...overrun with prisoners. Prisoners you can, at this point, only describe as political prisoners. The Washington Post reports that, quote, in recent months, law enforcement and judicial authorities have engaged in discussions to manage this huge volume of January 6th cases without overwhelming the courthouse where pleas and trials are held. This is depraved, and it's malicious. Keep in mind, it was just 2 weeks ago that we got thousands of hours of surveillance footage from January 6th, footage the government and the committee had hidden from the public, and in some cases from these defendants in the prosecutions. They did this on security grounds. Those grounds were bogus. We proved that. The footage...
Yeah, and it's like, I'm sorry, but like, I guess there are some things which, you could argue footage of such and such person getting killed. Or like, it was like, why don't we see the autopsy? And it's like, there was some privacy. Maybe you shouldn't release someone getting killed if their family isn't comfortable with it. But like, and like, it's sort of like George Floyd. Like, should they not have released that footage of him being killed? It's like, I think, to be fair, this comes back to, especially when the public is questioning this, and it's a very contentious thing, and it's a very important thing. Everybody thinks so, at least. I mean, it's like, people believe that the election has been stolen from them. This is almost as important as COVID, where like, oh well, people gonna die, is the vaccine safe? People are really questioning whether or not the election was stolen from them. So the best thing we could do here with January 6th, after that, when they're questioning, was this even a real attack? Like, is this what they said it was? You have the fucking footage, release it to the public. Why did McCarthy have to... Why did Tucker Carlson have to beg McCarthy in a video, tell him, look, you want to get elected, you're gonna have to make concessions. And he made a video titled, McCarthy Needs to Make Concessions, before he was speaker, and he was saying, you need to release all of this content to everybody, to all of the people. And well, McCarthy, for some reason, released it specifically to him. Well, his team looked at it, and while they analyzed it, they were like, yeah, we're just gonna show you both sides. Yeah, it was violent in some places at some times, and in some places at some times it wasn't. Like, what more is there to show? I mean, yeah, like, what is he gonna show on his show? Every single minute of every single, like, clip? Clearly he can't do that. It's like, yeah, he should release it to the public in some space. Like, he should, link some video, like, I don't know, upload it to some, maybe some website and link that in the description of his show. I don't know if Fox News necessarily knows how to do that. Yeah, I'm just kidding. They definitely, I don't know why they, probably they're assuming, yeah, most people don't really have time to fucking go through that shit, so. Yeah, either way, at least for other journalists who might want to question it, like, they should do that. I'm sure that Tucker's just, like, persuaded that it wouldn't matter if he did, because, like, probably most people who are trying to go after him, like, he'd have reasonable reason to think, yeah, they aren't genuine, after how much he's been smeared, but...
Saw it proved the government had been lying about what happened inside the building on January 6th. And as we just showed you, they lied about Jacob Chansley, the so-called QAnon shaman. He was not the only one.
Yeah.
But in the tape that we showed you just a second ago and 2 weeks ago, Chansley is seen walking around the inside of the Capitol with the police escort. Police lead him to the Senate chamber.
Oh my God.
Now, you were not allowed to see that footage because it painted a very different picture from the myth they had been force-feeding you on television for 2 years. Chansley's lawyers didn't see it, it turned out. The judge who sentenced Chansley...
Yeah, like, why not? Why didn't they see it? They should have gone to... I'm feeling, you wanna come with me? Okay. Well, I have no clue where you are. I don't think I'm gonna FaceTime you because I'm sorta doing this, and that'd be gay, but... No, I'm just... bro, I'm so fucking high. Whenever I'm high, I just say gay and nigger, like, every 2 seconds because I'm autistic. It's like... I don't know, bro, I want to see Robin and Tucker Carlson play duos on Minecraft Bed Wars. We would get the next 1001 straight, motherfucker, I'm telling you. We would.
Chansley to a life-destroying term in prison was not able to see it. So all that anybody knew was that Chansley had committed some sort of act of terrorism. They did not know.
And it's like, you at least gotta ask it, and I didn't know, I never asked myself if he was this, like, I always saw him as a giant troll, but, like, someone pointed out, yeah, by the way, that guy's disabled, and, like, if you go from the narrative, oh, he's disabled, like, it would make perfect sense that he's a troll, but apparently he's disabled, yeah, from that angle, he's just going around, like, half naked, wearing all this shit, he's being super extreme. That sounds like the type of shit I would do for the hell of it. And honestly, if I was him, I'd be like, damn, those 5 years might be worth having done that, actually. That's sort of how I'd be thinking about in his position, but he probably isn't thinking that way. Because he's probably less autistic than me. But, like, dude, yeah, the guy should not be in prison. His lawyers should have done everything and why isn't he being released from prison? Why wouldn't Joe Biden be the bigger man and say, look, in this case, yeah, I'm pardoning this guy because he shouldn't have been in prison. That would get a lot of Republicans to gain some respect for him. Maybe you should do that.
The truth. Now,
even if it's not significant, even if literally anything else you would, like, spend that amount of time on, there are so many more things that it'd be way more beneficial to society in general. Yeah, he should still do that. Like, it'd probably do him, at least within the Republican Party, a lot of good. And it's like, the Democrats, well, they say they're the party of being principled, and the right is just a cult. So, well, y'all principled, y'all want a mentally disabled person who just went along with a mob, when you're accusing Trump of, like, betraying all of his supporters and, like, just deceiving them into coming here when, like, oh, well, you're just deceiving them. Like, they're the real victims in this. I heard the Young Turks say that, and they're one of the, like, if not the most popular progressives on YouTube. Well, how about that? How about we let this guy out? How about Biden let this guy out? Are y'all gonna be okay with that? Clearly he isn't gonna hurt anybody. Clearly he wasn't hurting anybody. It's like, if he's going to, I don't know, if you're going to be, well, who knows, he might charge at somebody. He's probably gonna charge at someone with a pickaxe, made out of fucking styrofoam. Like, he's that type of guy. Like, what the fuck do you want? Like, do you see this guy actually hurting people? Probably not.
Oh, however, it's pretty stunning that they're trying to arrest up to 12.
And he hasn't hurt anyone, just for the record.
More people. Now, whatever you think of Jacob Chansley or Donald Trump, if you cared about civil liberties,
Love how he smashes the two together.
This is...
That is so true. I mean, if you think about it, smashing the two together, I mean, Trump is probably way more of a, like, shameless guy. Apparently, like, I don't think he realizes, like, dude, what I'm doing is wrong. I think he just thinks at it from a selfish angle, and that's probably the main reason, I guess, why Tucker would obviously be turned off from Trump. Like, he said, yeah, like, how I was raised, you don't talk about yourself. That's seen as sort of repulsive. That's why Tucker never talks about himself, apparently. Like, he's just, no, you, like, being selfish like that, no. Which, I mean, I disagree talking about yourself. If you have accomplishments, there's every reason to talk about them, but, like, power to him for that. But, like, yeah, Trump is just really self-obsessed, and he's not that fucking great. Like, he just is such a meme, and the libtards are just so fucking libtardish that they threw a fucking scene over him and pretty much made him the hero of, like, I get to be a clown, and every respectable authority figure is literally gonna throw a fit over it. I literally get to, and Tucker made a video about that, talking about Trump's political genius. I think that was the title, and it's literally just that. He just, like, he just says dumb shit that no one should take seriously. It's just funny. And the fucking libtards just throw a fit. Like, the professional fucking CNN, people who used to be taken as trusted authority figures, throws a fucking fit. Like, I remember, like, the one time during Trump's presidency that, like, I saw some from CNN, like, my mother was trying to show me a video. Look, this is proof that Trump's racist. And, like, the CNN lady was literally fucking saying, so we're about to show you proof that Trump's it looked like a parody. That Trump's a white supremacist. So as you can see in this tweet, yeah, these cities have a high crime rate, and I don't like it because I don't like crime. It's bad that there is a lot of crime in these cities. Oh, so if you don't like crime, you're racist. Well, shit, dude. If your textbooks really said that, I guess I'd get why the DeSantis would fucking ban those books, but that's sort of not what the fucking textbooks say that racism is now, fucking is it? No, racism isn't color blindness. So Black Lives Matter is wrong with their fucking with their premise that oh, we're against racism, but you know what, the slogan all lives matter, it's widely perceived by like the Black Lives Matter community. It's this status quo, like generally, like all throughout the board. Yeah, the slogan all lives matter is sort of a, like, it shows itself as a rebuttal to our movement. That's what the Humanist Report said. Someone who I watch a lot, who I respect. Yeah, he's a hard leftist. Who is in favor of Black Lives Matter, who has 300,000, hopefully soon 400,000 subs on YouTube. I completely disagree with them on that, but, like, that's sort of their position, right? All lives matter. That's sort of a rebuttal to my protest. It's a protest to my protest. And it's like, if a colorblind statement, you see that as a rebuttal to your protest's fundamental stance, your protest, your movement is by definition racist. If a like inherently colorblind argument is by your standards what you would consider to be a rebuttal of your protest by virtue of it being colorblind, well, that is called you're racist, because you redefining the word colorblind as racism. Apparently they tried redefining the word recession too, which is fucking insane. I don't really know the context behind that, but no, buddy, that's not really gonna work. You're gonna have to make a new dictionary definition that people actually agree on, because you can't just change language like that. If you want to say that racism means colorblindness, then I will become a proud racist. But until that becomes the dictionary definition, you going by, well, this isn't discriminatory against a certain race, against the white race, so by definition it's racist. No, buddy, you're going to have to show me that dictionaries say that colorblindness is racist. Like, you can say it all you want. I don't care. Like, good for you. You're retarded. That isn't an argument.
As grave a constitutional violation as you can have. In this country, the prosecution has to, for constitutional and moral reasons, turn over exculpatory evidence to the defense. That did not happen. This is wrong.
Yeah,
this
the
man
lawyers
is rotting
should
in
get
prison.
them.
His life has ended for a crime he did not commit and that he was not allowed to fairly defend himself against.
Yeah, that's...
But liberals didn't care.
On every level, and apparently the guy was mentally disabled too. Like... Yeah, it's fucking insane. Okay. And I'm dropping. Oh yeah, I did. I'm running back on that. I was sort of trying to say nigger less, because I was just constantly fucking saying it. And it's like, dude, I'm not saying it every 2 words, so I think this is fine, but like, I think it would sort of make me a fucking retard to be like, bro, like, everybody's throwing a fit over this, so I'ma not say it. Because, like, at the end of the day, that's sort of always why I've been saying it. And it's fair to say, like, bro, I might get shut down over that stuff, but it's like, I'll just debunk it. Like, at the time, I was sort of thinking, like, dude, I might just be too fucking, just too fucking lazy to bother doing that. But, yeah. Like, I don't think I'm gonna be, so I might as well. I don't know, like, the thing is, I don't really want to have people start taking clips of me, eventually just saying nigger if I get bigger and be able to just say, look, he said this, and then everybody is just gonna not even give me a chance to respond if that happens. But I'm probably not gonna get that big, but you never know. You never fucking know. So that was sort of the premise behind that. I don't want to be saying it every 2 to 3 words, because that'll turn fucking everybody off of watching my shit. Because lot of gay Jews out there, you know. XD. No, I will not accept that.
They no longer seem to have any interest in justice or civil rights. Just today, the MSNBC morning show was continuing to lie about Jacob Chansley, telling its viewers that he is a terrorist who does not deserve rights. Watch.
So if you lie about what happened on January 6th...
By the way, wasn't the left saying that Gitmo was a horrible, abusive place that shouldn't exist? Well fucking done, buddy.
If you try to
I'm not punching all of those people innocent, but guess what? Jacob Chansley is also fucking innocent.
redefine it as, you know, and try to redefine Jonathan Lemire saying, oh, the weird guy wearing the horns, or I don't know who people were trying to say, oh, he was...
Yeah, that's exactly who he was. That's exactly how everybody saw him, because...
Boom!
What else are we gonna see?
Later, we got reporters like Mr. Riley who will say, well, actually, look at this video.
Yeah, I don't see Jacob's, whatever, 10 or whatever in this video. In the public, like, all the footage I saw of him, like, all these people, they sort of weren't there. It was just him and the police, and he was indoors, so... Oh, well, guess what? These people were also there, and they did that. Well, apparently AOC is claiming that she was there when she wasn't there, so... Was she claiming to have been an insurrectionist? She was also there, by the way, retard. Like, he also happened to... Like, these people were also there, and they did that, so it doesn't matter that he didn't do it. Like, he was, like, around the Capitol at that time. Well, guess what? Apparently Mike Pence was around the Capitol, so Mike Pence was trying to break into the Capitol. Just like Jacob Stanley, even though they were both already in there.
Walking
okay.
through a broken
Sounds legit.
So as a factual matter, as if you need to be reminded, what you just heard is a lie. Provably, Jacob Chansley did not walk through a broken window. He walked through an open door. And again, he walked into the Senate because the door was being held by a uniformed police officer with a gun. This footage is available to everyone, including the anchors on MSNBC. They know this, they're lying anyway. They don't care about what actually happened, and more critically, they don't care about the civil rights of the man whose life was destroyed. What you just saw is a measure of the total moral corruption of our news media and the institutions they serve in Washington. And it has implications for you. If they'll endorse the unjust destruction of one man, they have no limits. They will do anything. And now with these impending arrests, they're showing you what they will do. So if you support the wrong presidential candidate, you get arrested and don't get to see exculpatory evidence in your trial. Apparently those are the rules. But if you do vote the right way, you get paid. Democrats raise money for your bail when you commit violent crimes. They'll even force taxpayers to give you money after the fact. Hard to believe that's happening, but it is. The city of Philadelphia just agreed to pay nearly $10 million to hundreds of people who say they were, quote, injured in the police response to the BLM riots of 2020.
Oh.
And none of the businesses in Philadelphia that were burned get money, of course. They don't have rights. They're small business.
And by the way, I love how everybody, Cenk Uygur, all the leftists are saying, oh, Tucker Carlson supports January 6th. He said numerous times, January 6th was awful. And why do you think he keeps comparing it to the BLM riots? Well, he said that also multiple times. Because he sees them as essentially the same thing. People disagreed with some politically, and they went over the edge. They rioted. And Tucker doesn't agree with rioting, period, no matter what it's about. So, I mean, I wouldn't agree with him on that. I think there are justified reasons to riot, but yeah, from his worldview, that's pretty damn consistent. It's like, what do you want to know?
Businesses, they may vote the wrong way. Obama's DHS secretary is happy with that. In
okay,
fact,
you never endorsed January 6th. Well, let me, anything else over here? Wait. Nah. Shit, dude. Bro, I'm so down in hype. Bro, my fucking bottle is out. Kill myself. But I do have some weed, bro. I'm just not trying to smoke that right now. I'll probably smoke it after this stream. I'm already high, but yeah. Do you watch Joe? No. No, I actually, dude, I have a big fucking problem with Joe Rogan. From back when, actually, I'm pretty sure he was a libtard back then. He made claims on his channel that, like, yeah, eating a plant-based diet is just absolutely not, like, yeah, you can't live that way. It's bad for your health. It's, like, there's no way you could eat on that diet. And it's like, he didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. And it's like, oh my god, I remember that channel. But he didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. He got some people, like, that's so gay. That was funny as hell. I hope I have that saved somewhere. Fuck, dude. It was an OG channel to have in my, sub box. Oh, yeah, let's go. Dude, yeah, I think we have the intro saved, actually. Nice. But yeah, dude, what the fuck was I talking about? I will find this. Said that also multiple times. Dude, no. If that way, it's bad for your health. It's, like, there's no... Oh, yeah, we'll talk about fucking Joe Rogan. So, yeah, like he was saying, yeah, you just can't live on that diet, man. Like it's just bad for you. You can't get enough, this and that. And well, he actually invited somebody onto his show who debunked that. He invited, I think it was James, like from the Game Changers documentary, and that guy debunked all of his claims on his show in front of the guy, that Chris Kresser, who he had invited specifically. That's not for you, XDL. But yeah, like he had invited that guy on, Chris Kresser, specifically because he would agree with him in terms of his talking points, and he had actually bothered doing the research, but like he was misled. But yeah, the guy who he like invited onto his show specifically to like get those talking points in. Well, he watched the guy from the Game Changers documentary who he invited debunk everything he had said about plant-based diets. Like he debunked all of that, and Joe Rogan admitted, yeah, wow, that was completely wrong. Like that whole thing, everything that this guy said that I was repeating. In fact, that's why I brought him onto the show for him to say that, so that I could agree with it and say, wow, that's exactly what I was just saying, dude. Great point. Yeah, everything this guy was saying that he was really repeating from me, yeah, all of that is wrong. Wow, you really did a good job. You really debunked that. And he admitted, yeah, after watching this, like, you really showed good evidence that this is good. Yeah, a plant-based diet is absolutely adequate for your health. And guess what? Like, legit, as soon as the guy left his show, like, he admitted that everything he had been saying was false information. He never retracted any of those statements, so, like, even said, oh, yeah, by the way, like, that wasn't true. And he just kept saying the same shit. No data, what is that about? Like, yeah, he just, like, he invited the guy over from the Game Changers documentary. Clearly, he didn't know what he was getting into. The guy debunked everything he said. He just threw the guy who he had paid as a puppet under the bus, Chris Kresser, and he was like, oh yeah, that guy was completely wrong, even though he was just agreeing with me. He didn't even bother to say, yeah, I was wrong too, since it was sort of my shit that I was saying. And yeah, like, then he just went right back to saying the exact same shit he had just admitted that he had been wrong in saying, because it wasn't true. So yeah, the guy's sort of a moron to some extent. I mean, I gotta say, like, people say he's genuine. I don't know. I don't think he's that smart. There's been some rumors that you're interested in. Let's fucking go. No clue what that is, but it sounds fun. Hell yeah. But I don't watch Joe Rogan. Like, I've never seen an episode from him. He's bold. I don't really like that about him. I don't like a lot of things about him. I don't know. The guy sorta probably takes steroids because he's, like, insecure. There's, like, nothing wrong with that, but, oh boy, does he have a lot of stuff to be insecure about, I guess. Like, I just feel like he does. Okay. Yeah, this is still playing. By the way, I just gotta check that I didn't lose any subs over that rant, because holy bro, I just gained 2 subs, and I'm at 8 likes. This is pretty poggers. Yeah. But by the way, I would like to point out, I don't think it's murder to like, buy animal products from the store, because, well, when you're consuming animal, like, on an individual level, oh hell yeah, on an individual level, you don't really change the supply and demand, which is, like, the supply is the murder, right? And then the demand, like, it sort of correlates, and I mean, yeah. Yeah, lit. But, dude, it sort of correlates, so I guess you're sort of, like, participating in it, what's it called? Bro, I'm so high, like, yeah, you're enabling it to some degree, like, you shouldn't do that, I don't do that, but I don't think it's murder, I don't think you have on an individual level, like by yourself buying meat, no matter how fat you are, no matter how much meat you're gonna consume, you yourself will probably never contribute to any specific animal getting killed. Like whether or not the most obese motherfucker who spends their entire life eating meat and somehow doesn't die early, like the person who will have eaten the most meat, as long as they don't go hunting, which that's a whole different thing, as long as they get these animals from the grocery store, I don't think they will by themselves have contributed to any amount of like deaths personally. But then again, if you have everybody on Earth being like that, well, in fact, we'd probably run out of land to be able to get these animals because, well, we sort of have to feed them and we could just grow plants instead. But yeah, if everybody was instead vegan, we wouldn't have the animal holocaust. So I definitely think, yeah, like if it was necessary for us to eat them, like fair, but again, we don't need to. So we're actually better off. It's more healthy for us not to do it. So I think, yeah, get animal substitutes, all that stuff, lab meat, I'm all for that. But I think these animals have a right to life. They shouldn't be tortured. I don't believe torturing them is right, and I know that they do that in these industries, so. The pickaxe, do or nah? Nah, I'm still going with nah, bro. Sorry about that.
Supported the January 6 protesters in any way, even if they never stepped foot in the Capitol building, must be rounded up and charged with insurrection. Watch.
January 6th was the very definition of an insurrection. In my view, it's in the national interest that in prosecuting these cases, we call it what it was. You know, we read that the special prosecutor is contemplating charges for obstruction.
Did he just do that? That's fucking hilarious.
The national interest that in prosecuting these cases, we call it what it was. You know, we read that the special prosecutor is contemplating charges for obstruction.
Special boss. Fucking hilarious.
Official proceeding, fraud. This was an insurrection.
I love Tucker Carlson.
You know, let's call it what it was. And the insurrection statute punishes not just those who participate in the insurrection, but those who incite it and give aid and comfort thereto. So in investigating former President Trump and others around him.
Yeah, I think it's insane to say that, like, apparently Trump, what he actually said, and everybody was leaving that out, was, he said march peacefully and patriotically. That was in his tweet. Why aren't people bringing that up? Apparently that's what he said. That didn't sound like inciting violence. Now you could argue maybe Trump wanted it to go violent. Okay. Do you have any evidence to back up that you can mind read? I mean, sure, you could argue, yeah, I'm sure that was his intention. I'm sure you can be convinced of that, some people are, but that's not what he said. I'm sorry, that's not what he fucking said. He didn't say, go and break this shit. Go fucking hang Mike Pence. Hang that fucking gay Jew, dude. Go fucking hang that motherfucker, bro. Go give him the L, bro. Break all this shit over to him, this bitch. I wanna win. If he had said that, he would already be in jail.
I think we really do have to call it what it is. I think it's in the national interest.
It was in no sense an insurrection. It was neither armed nor organized. It was a political...
I'm sure so. That is true. Like, none of these people are really armed. I mean, otherwise a lot more people would have been killed. Very much including insurrectionists. And the only ones were apparently Ashley Babbitt, who wasn't armed, so...
protest that at times became
pretty good point, actually.
And morphed, unfortunately, into a riot. But it was not an insurrection. That is a lie, and they know it's a lie. These are people who believe the election was stolen. They certainly had reason to think that. But instead of convincing them it wasn't stolen, instead of calming their fear...
The fuck? Baker, did you make a second account? You definitely did. Jesus Christ, this is...
by telling them what exactly Mark Zuckerberg's $400 million was doing in our election system.
Wait, you have for money in politics, so is he? Oh yeah, he's calling out hypocrisy.
Instead of explaining that, despite the fact we changed the way we vote, no voting fraud took place. Instead of explaining why voting seemed to stop in some places, did it not? Why don't you tell us? Instead of doing any of that, as you would in a democracy, they told them to shut up. Everybody told them to shut up. Every news channel in America told them to shut up. And some didn't want to. So they went to Washington for January 6th. So here these people, having already figured out that, hey, we can use police power to crush the other side, are fantasizing about locking up anybody who protests Donald Trump's imminent arrest in New York. You almost get the sense they want those protesters to commit crimes so they can go to Rikers. Watch as the MSNBC...
Yeah, you sort of do. When George Soros is gonna ironically be the one funding the next January 6th. I don't know, they dethroned Trump. This is what happened. Now they're going to try to imprison him. Whether all that is rightful or not, clearly all the people who were there January 6th, they will not believe now that, well, now they're sort of in prison now, fucking aren't they? But all the new fucking January 6th people, because usually when you handle that type of stuff in that way, no transparency, because, oh, well, I don't know, we shouldn't release that stuff. Well, Tucker Carlson is pressing them, getting them all a high ground, which he's absolutely right in getting, and telling them apart over this. Hey, why aren't y'all giving us transparency? Isn't that the key thing to democracy, especially when such an important thing is being legitimately questioned by people who don't believe you're telling the truth? Isn't the best way to clarify that transparency unless you're lying? And it's like, I don't necessarily believe they're lying, because clearly they are retarded on Twitter, on YouTube, all that. If you have a dissenting opinion, the libs just want you not to be able to say it if it's misinformation and stuff, and they go through with that. COVID misinformation has been very much censored. I've heard more than anything, and very much election lies too on Facebook. I feel a lot of people get banned on there for spreading that type of stuff, and it's like, well, doesn't that sort of give them the free talking point of, well, what are you trying to hide exactly? You clown being retarded? You don't want people to get to see that that's what that is. You want to spread that, like, oh, these people are being censored, when the first impression is they're clowns? Really? Like, you're sort of making this into this big thing. Like, by censoring it, you're starting this conversation, this whole drama. Like, you're starting it, bro. By censoring shit. Oh god, it's gonna be like the DP games. Dude, if I blow up on YouTube, I'll re-upload that. For sure. Dude, don't I have 2 of these? No one spawns. Dude. Jesus Christ. I'm at 86, boys. This is pretty epic.
What seems to be psychosexual pleasure from the possibility of another January 6th in New York City. Watch
9 people. I'm top 10, bro. OG. Let's go.
Video. And it shows still that it was a riot. It was an attempted insurrection.
Oh my god, MSNBC. The fucking segregationists. We're probably gonna call these people white supremacists because, I don't know, projection, probably.
And they
I don't know, maybe.
Going to jail. And so for those who think they're going to screw with the NYPD...
And it's so fucking funny that, yeah, these white people would be on MSNBC. Like, don't y'all always accuse Candace Owens of being the black face of white supremacy? Well, why are y'all on MSNBC? Are y'all the white face of black supremacy? Why are y'all on a platform whose leaders, literally, the people who run the channel, they have aired segments on the fucking channel, on the news, saying, yeah, white people are just so fucking horrible, they just turn to violence, like, they're just violent fucking... Yeah, so many hosts on there actually have said that. Why are you on there? Have they, I don't know, at least one of them's a host, probably fucking this guy, because he's wearing glass and he's old, but, like, dude... Is he calling their racism out? Probably not.
PD today, Stay on
Wasn't
the
a
other
great
side
point,
of
but
the
it's
bridge.
rude.
It's not going to
Yes.
go well. Even if they come into New York City and break the law, they're going to jail. It's pretty simple. Break the law, go.
Protesting Trump's arrest, by the way, wouldn't be breaking the law. I don't know why the libtards are trying to go on this tangent of if anybody protests, shouldn't y'all at least clarify, at least if this is your position? You'd imagine, unless they are full-fledged authoritarians, which is pretty ironic considering that they're trying to say, oh, well, we should take down Trump, he's an authoritarian. If their position is, we should, like, any riots that occur, like, over Trump's arrest, like, you remember January, say, yeah, let's just, like, lock anyone up who does that. I could go out in the street with my pickaxe even, be sort of like this guy who was jailed for 4 years, who they mentioned earlier. I could go out in the street and legit just swing my pickaxe out in the air. I could go out in my street with 0 people and just do that, be retarded. Just like this guy who was in prison for 4 years, I wouldn't be hurting anyone. In fact, no one would even see me being retarded. Should I be jailed for 4 years? I'd be protesting Trump's arrest. Like, that's what I would be doing. Liberals think that if I do that, I should be imprisoned. Like, if you're going to say that if you protest Trump's arrest, you should be imprisoned, shouldn't you at least clarify, if you break shit, if you go ahead and, like, if you break the law, is this guy about to say, yeah, if you, protest Trump's arrest in a way that actually breaks the law, if you, I don't know, go and break into stores, break property, if you are caught breaking property or assaulting people, then you should go to jail, even if you're protesting Trump's arrest, because, well, you should always go to jail if you do that, no matter what.
Go to jail. There is no post-truth world when it comes to the court system, right?
Pretrial detention.
No, certainly so.
Yeah, Rikers. Hey, and by the way, one-way ticket too. Somebody said it. Rikers. Have a good day.
Over the long.
Dude, I sort of zoned out, wasn't really listening to me. Sort of sounds
New
slow,
York
so.
City and break the law, they're going to jail. It's pretty simple. Break the law, go to jail. There is no post-truth world when it comes to the court system, right?
Pretrial detention.
No, certainly so.
Yeah, Rikers. Hey, and by the way, one-way.
I mean, what are y'all talking about here? Are y'all talking about, in general, people if they're gonna protest Trump's arrest? What makes you think they'd necessarily and all be violent? What are they gonna do? It's not like they're counting the votes. I heard that's why they went to the Capitol on January 6th, because they were counting the votes. Maybe they're gonna go to the place Trump is gonna be held at to try and release him. Like, what are they gonna...
Somebody said it.
Yeah, I guess if they break into the court and break the windows of the court, I guess it's a public hearing, so they're allowed to be there. The citizens are allowed to be at the trial because it's a fucking public hearing. So, yeah, like, the Capitol's the people's home. Again, like, that court trial, by the way, people should be allowed to be there. From what I've heard, like, the only things that are relevant to right now that I've heard, like, in political science, for example, I'm sure that's probably where I got it from. Yeah, those places are public, you're allowed to public trials, so people are allowed to be there. If they break shit, if they harass people, if they assault people, yeah, maybe then these people specifically should go to jail.
Have a good
Yeah.
day.
And by the way, the people in the Black Lives Matter riots, who were doing things such as setting police stations on fire, things that are generally unruly. I mean, generally speaking, not unrolling. Yeah, should these people go to jail? You tell me, dude.
Over the long bridge there to Rikers
Are you
Island.
two
Yeah,
things?
there is certainly the NYPD specializes, particularly post 9/11, in real shows of force.
What the fuck is
Some of
this
us will
9/11
never
thing
tire
about?
of hearing Joe Scarborough demand that we lock up people who break the law. The filthier you are, the more hypocritical you are, of course. But what's so interesting is how you never see these very same people fantasize about locking up, say, the murderers or rapists or armed robbers or people who push elderly women in front of subway cars who are making New York City unlivable. This is a city in which the homicide rate jumped more than 50% from 2019 to 2021 because of their policies. They don't care about that. They're not mad at the murder.
By the way, yeah, that's when Biden took
office. Who caused shootings to increase more than 100% in that same period. They're not mad that Alvin Bragg, their new favorite prosecutor, dropped 70% of criminal cases, actual criminal cases, since taking office, so that these same criminals can continue to terrorize poor people in neighborhoods where MSNBC anchors don't live. Try that in Nantucket and see if it works. Don't think they'd put up with it. So they don't want those criminals locked up. They want
Where does Obama live? The whitest fucking place, huh? Isn't he racist? I'm saying, I fucking love Tucker's point on that.
Who voted?
Yeah, like, crimes and fair, you could say, yeah, these crimes, maybe they are more common in more heavily, black cities, but that doesn't mean that you pointing out that crime is wrong is racist. Like, yeah, since segregation was only, like 2 generations ago, since wealth doesn't redistribute down generations through inheritance as fast as, social acceptance of minority groups is becoming widespread and already has finished becoming widespread. Like, yeah, social progress like that is way more prominent these days. Goes at a way faster pace, but yeah, these people, statistically speaking, as much as there is now a meritocracy system put in place for them to be able to like get a fair shot just like anybody else. So yeah, they might start with a disadvantage, just like any poor person might start with a disadvantage, but they have all the tools in the toolbox, so they can go from there. But yeah, statistically speaking, when their ancestors, like 2 generations ago, when their grandparents weren't able to participate in the system of meritocracy, and people do tend to, like, sort of breed their, what's it called? Like, their lifestyle. Like, poverty sort of tends to keep going because there's a lifestyle that goes with it. Yeah, statistically speaking, there's going to be more black people who are poor. And poverty sort of tends to go with a might makes right lifestyle. So, like, race being, like, more of these crime-filled cities have a higher black population. That's not an argument for, if you say crime is bad, you're racist. Like, that has nothing to do with one another.
To get locked up. Now, it goes without saying this is an inversion of what you're supposed to want in a sane society. In a sane society, you let elections determine who has political power. You don't fantasize about your political opponents going to jail. You don't want a real show of force to deter constitutionally protected protests because those protests are the sign of a free society. You're proud of that. That people can protest. They don't have to be violent. They can say what they think. But that has changed over the last 2 years under the Biden administration. Here's federal prosecutor.
The fuck? Well,
Michael Sherwin on 60 Minutes in 2021 in tape that we will never forget, speaking about American citizens, bragging about the DOJ using, quote, shock and awe to round up as many Trump supporters as possible to deter them from protesting Joe Biden's inauguration, which they...
That is all that I intend to my vocabulary.
The constitutional right to do. Watch this.
After the 6th, we had an inauguration on the 20th. So I wanted to ensure, and our office wanted to ensure, that there was shock and awe, that we could charge as many people as possible before the 20th. And it worked because we saw through media posts that people were afraid to come back to D.C. because they're like, if we go there, we're going to get charged. We wanted to take out those individuals that essentially were thumbing their noses at the public for what they did.
Shock and awe? Take out those individuals? Isn't that how you treat ISIS? These are Americans you're talking about, pal. That man in a free country would have no power whatsoever over his fellow citizens. And instead, he's launching a new war on terror against people who vote differently from him. This is bigger than Donald Trump, and it has been for a long time. And now,
to be fair, it's fair to say that the violent ones, you can call them terrorists. I mean, they were born in America, and so some native-born Americans, like, were brainwashed into following ISIS because they were probably really fucking autistic and shit.
now it's escalated.
But
So where are the Republicans, you wonder, the people you vote for, who are supposed to be protecting you from this, but the country from devolving into something unrecognizable? Where's Mitch McConnell, by the way? He's the lead Republican in the Senate. Where's Tom Tillis, the liberal Republican from North Carolina? Where's John Cornyn of Texas? Where are all the other Republican senators who said, shut up, you shouldn't see the videotape from January 6th? Are these people on board with arresting 1,000 more nonviolent January 6th protesters, their voters? We asked them. We didn't get any replies. Lindsey Graham's spokesman did send over this thoroughly humiliating response, quote, you sure put a lot of trust in the Washington Post. We take most of what we read there with a grain of salt. Huh? So the U.S. attorney in Washington announces in federal court that he's going to haul another 1,000, maybe 1,200 Trump voters to jail. And the response from people like Lindsey Graham and the rest
it's a
of the
right-wing, like, news thing. Like, who even really, like, knows that? I barely ever hear anything talked about from them. It's like, no one ever really talks about them, as far as I know. Apparently, the, like, right-wing media place, and it's not even like they spread a lot of insane garbage, because otherwise they'd be spoke about more. I'd have heard from them.
These people in the United States Senate. Republicans who you voted for is, don't worry about it. They're saying the same thing as a Manhattan DA threatens to put Donald Trump, the leading Republican presidential candidate, in handcuffs. This is shameful. They refuse to defend the Constitution or their own voters, and we really hope, through the electoral system, they are punished at one point soon. Subscribe to the Fox News YouTube.
I think he hopes it's through the electoral system, because he doesn't want these people to take it into their own hands, and he says that. By the way, this is why I talk about this. I don't want these people to take it into their own hands, which, yeah, if you let this type of shit happen, like, you don't, respect their rights, you don't give transparency, you just say, this was all violent, even this person who was clearly just memeing around, in fact, he had mental disabilities. Yeah, he was violent too, okay? Shut up. We're not gonna release that footage. Yeah, when people see shit like that, when they see that party calling, like, the entirety of the red states racist, when I live in a red state, nobody's racist. Literally nobody. I've only met one racist person ever, and I met them online. Like, no, that is a lie. People in the South are not racist. I live in Louisiana, don't know any racists. I've lived here since I was 6. Met a lot of people, known a lot of people, still do. Nobody's fucking racist. Yeah. When that party keeps spewing that type of bullshit, and they're going to arrest the president, and they already think, like, yeah, they wrongfully dethroned him. He won the election, but they dethroned him anyway. Yeah, like, these people might take it into their own hands to defend their country if they don't think their leaders are doing that. I don't think that makes him support that. In fact, he says, no, I do not want that to happen. This is why I'm warning y'all, and this is why I'm saying this stuff. I think this is how we should communicate that, by debunking it, not by committing violence. That's why I'm here, to do that part and set the example. But, yeah, I think this is, been a long enough live stream. I've had more views than fucking ever in a live stream. It's insane. Yeah. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Now we're back. The black community. That's hilarious. Okay, saw that. I saw that. Yeah, I actually saw that, yeah. Well, that's epic. I love you too. Put it on live chat. Dude, if I was smart enough to know how to do that, I promise I would. Okay, I promise. I think I'm probably, I don't know, like what... Should I look at some other video? Should I look at some retard who's gonna be retarded? That's gonna give me some free fucking... That's probably gonna be easier to talk about, but, easier to commentate on someone like this. Okay, yeah, I already want Politicon. You know what? I really want to watch some of those. And what better way to watch those than... What? Now, yeah, dude, you know what? I don't know who the hell that is, but Kyle Kalinske. You know I gotta see my dog. And by the way, let me see everything that... Daily Wire. Let's go, Ben Shapiro. I think the other Daily Wire hosts is sort of just insane. But, yeah, I really like Ben Shapiro, though. Dude, damn, bro, my nose is just scratching, like, fucking, every part of my fucking body. I swear, you could see I just took a shower, right? Like, bro, I swear, my fucking head scratches all the time. Even after I did, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me. But,
I hate and
either way, I
telling
don't know what I'm
people
talking
that they got
about.
the
It's
candidates they
just,
voted for.
Dude, calculus, you know what, let me go grab some more water, and let me start smoking weed. I don't know, I'm about to see, I feel like my commentary will turn to just absolute retardation on steroids if I start smoking weed right now, but like, either way, I'm gonna go ahead and, have no more alcohol. And that makes sense. I... Ah, what the fuck? It's really hyped up.
Well, it seems like you don't need an introduction to these two, do you? You're gonna get a short one anyway. Kyle Kalinske is a left-wing radio host, social democratic political commentator, and the co-founder.
Dude, oh my god, this was really what this guy was reading a script off his phone.
Justice Democrats. We want to keep it short so you get to the conversation. Please welcome Kyle Kalinske.
Oh, one of my absolute favorite.
And to his left is the weeknight host on Russia, I should say RT America, Scotty Nell Hughes. I was saying to Scotty, I could have gone through the whole bio, but it doesn't make sense. So let's get to it. Who is winning? Is President Trump winning? How should we measure? Well, we're going to find out in just a second. Let's start with the economy. If we listen to the president, he says it's the best economy in the history of this country. He will point to low unemployment, job growth, the stock market up until maybe a week ago or so. Is the president winning on the economy? I will start with you, Kyle, first.
Okay, so first of all, I just want to say thank you to Scotty Nell Hughes for accepting this.
I love this guy.
I think the setup's a little funny because I feel like we're, I don't know, making draft picks or something. Like this is an NBA.
Yeah.
With the 23rd pick in the NBA draft.
So
this guy's just such a people's person. I fucking love him.
She works for RT, and I feel like RT is a little unfairly maligned in today's political climate. And there are some wonderful hosts at RT. The late great Ed Schultz was there, Tom Hartman, and so that's another point.
Dude, I wanted to say, but this bitch, right? I don't know anything. I don't know this person, but that'd be funny.
Before I hop into the substance, is that I feel like there's a lot of the treatment of RT has been unfair for many in the establishment media, and the fact that you work for them, I don't find that bad, disqualifying in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, everyone's just speaking in the background. This is so AIDS. Like, thank fuck that wasn't that thing with that Chen Kruger versus Tucker Carlson debate.
Say that as well.
It's
so,
actually really good.
As far as the economy goes, is Donald Trump winning on the economy? Well, you're not going to be surprised to learn that my answer is no. He's not winning on the economy at all. So I was one of very few people on the left who actually gave Trump a lot of credit when he was campaigning, because I actually think on many issues he was more populist in his rhetoric than Hillary Clinton. He would go to the Rust Belt and he would talk about how NAFTA has been terrible for working people. He would rail against the TPP, and he was a rare Republican who would say he wasn't going to cut Social Security and Medicare. And I thought that
yeah, and he stick to that actually, which is
really helped him win. The fact that it was about 70,000 votes in the Rust Belt that really led to his victory. I mean, that was, even though Hillary won by a few million votes overall in the country, it was really 70,000 votes in the Rust Belt that made it so that Donald Trump won. And it doesn't help that Hillary Clinton was like tepidly against the trade deals after Bernie Sanders kind of forced her to that position. But when it comes to Trump's record, it doesn't match the rhetoric on the campaign trail. So one fact that I always bring up is that there were 93,000 jobs that have been outsourced in his first year as president. That's actually an increase. Under Obama, there were 87,000 jobs outsourced. And so I don't defend either one of their records on that front. I think if you run as the anti-outsourcing president, you should implement anti-outsourcing policies, and he simply hasn't done that. The unemployment rate being low, it's actually a very misleading thing when people bring that up as if it's evidence that, oh, he's doing well in the economy, because that's really not a very good economic indicator. Wages is a much better economic indicator, and real wages are falling. They're not keeping up with inflation.
Bro. Like, I saw, dude. Bro, these were all uploaded to this. Bro, like, I'm sorry, but dude, there's just way too much background noise. This is just really cancer. Like, I don't know what to say. I don't really like the fact that this is just so much noise here. I can't even really concentrate on what the fuck they're saying. 2017, what is there on that?
What is the real story?
The real, oh my god. These people try to portray themselves as so unbiased. Ben fucking destroyed the shit out of Chen Kruger. That was hilarious. Rights and resistance. OBJ panel. Like, the guy who fucking died a long time ago and no one really gives a shit because he's not alive now. But, oh my god, who even cares? Maybe I'm a I don't even know what fucking genre. I don't care. It's gay. Okay, now, I want to see this person who I know versus this other person I know. There's gonna be this gay shit, and dude, like, I don't really care, okay? I don't really give a shit, no one fucking cares, dude. Like, fucking kill yourself. Oh my god. Yeah, well, I guess we might be, wait, what else is there? The Humanist Report might have some new videos. Alright. Dude, I don't even know Jon Stewart, to be honest. I don't really know these people. I've seen people talk about both of them. So, apparently Andrew Yang's just going with a just dumbass forward part, which, like, that sounds pretty clickbaity, that sounds pretty, appealing, but then, like, he's just trying to be like, yeah, let's just get any third-party people, like, we just claim them. So, yeah, apparently he's not very deep with that. He doesn't have any, like, policies at the core of his movement, or anything at the core of his movement, so... Dude, I probably... dude, let's get political. This fucking dude. You know what? I really like Jay McFarland, and, yeah, I think this guy, he's a conservative who I think should get more attention. I completely disagree with his stance in this video, by the way. I commented on that. Dude, I comment on all the videos that... By the way, this guy, he's against Donald Trump, too, by the way. Maybe that's why I found him, but, like, he's more anti-Trump than I am. I would like to see Trump back for the memes. I don't think this guy does, but, yeah, this guy is a conservative. He used to be a talk show host. Anything, like, they would wanna... Hold on, I'm sure he has some videos on there that... I actually didn't watch this whole... You know what, since we're on the Trump thing, maybe we should watch this video. I was about to watch it, so... Okay. Hell yeah, dude. Your vid's pretty loud. Oh shit. Let me check that out.
News media and the institutions they serve in Washington. In Philadelphia that were burned to get money. What you just saw is
rights. Well, he said that.
Moral corruption of our news
Dude,
media
can I see...
and the institutions
Bro, hey.
they serve in...
You know what? I will just, start speaking while, watching this video.
Welcome into another edition of the JMac podcast. So glad that you...
Like? Because I'm sure I'll be speaking over at some point. Let me check the live stream. Let's see what...
The JMac podcast. So glad that you...
Like? Watch it, so... I don't think that sounds too bad.
Moral corruption of our news.
Dude, can I? Yeah, wait. I don't think it's true. I'm not attracted to them, but I don't have a problem with them. Bro, to be fair, I miss that shit too, but the problem with that is no one would really fucking watch it, and I don't know, I didn't quit Minecraft in the sense that I will still claim my daily reward, okay? I'll log on to Skyblock, and then I'll log right back off, but I'll claim that, like, daily, interest, you know? So I'm still active in the way that I'm more or less mainly AFK farming. That's pretty much how I do, but I don't know, Minecraft got... I mean, for all the time that I played it, like, it sort of tends to take me a long time to get, for some to get old, right? I mean, for how long have I been saying nigger, right? That's never gonna get old, but, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like, I was sort of burnt out. I'm obviously gonna go back to it at some point, but, like, I'm trying not to get back into it until I start, like, feeling it again. Like, right now, I don't know, I'm more into this. This is doing better for me. This channel's doing better, and that's sort of the people I started watching. Like, I don't know, I stopped watching Minecraft a long time ago. I went more to, like, I don't know, watching commentators like Leafy is Hip, Pyrocynical, iDubbbz, Vegan Gains, all that type of shit. I watched Vegan Gains in Hunt Hoover also. I started watching them a bit. Like, I watched Vegan Gains for a long time. A lot of I still watch them a lot. Nah, actually, I don't fucking watch that shit. It's like, I don't know. That's not what I don't fucking jerk off the videos. Nah, yeah. LOL, XD, nigga. Fuck yeah, dude. Alright, let's just, Dude, I was about to watch this video. I forgot I was about to. I didn't even start, did I? Okay.
Hello, my friends, and welcome into another edition of the JMac Podcast. So glad that you are here with us today. Donald Trump back on the menu.
You know what? I got an idea. Let's smoke some fucking weed, bro. You know what? Bro. Let's smoke some weed through my tacky. Let's see if that would work. I have, could we find a tacky that looks very, you know what? I'm sure this one will work. Okay? Like, I already got all that, so, but, you know what, I'm sort of curious, because I'm too lazy to go get a thing I would usually smoke it out of, so, but some stuck in my throat, gay, you know what, I'm going to try to smoke my weed from this tacky. It might be a waste of weed, but you never know, bro. I mean, dude, I need to get a paper clip to get it through there, but otherwise it just won't smoke. Let me see. Fucking hell. Do I have a paperclip fucking anywhere? Dude, that was about fucking killing myself, bro. Dude, I miss Leafy. They should bring Leafy back. So, as you can see here, I have my little pipe, I have my tacky with my weed in it. And, gonna see how well that smokes. Okay, damn, I see the tacky's getting smoked too. I don't know, I feel like it's sorta a little bit. Wait. Bro, this might... I don't know, bro, I really want this to work. That'd be really cool, right? Fuck, dude, it might not work. Really hope I can make this work. Let's go. It's sort of working. Bro, let me go get pickaxe. No, dude, I'm gonna have to relight this. This is definitely not the best tool to smoke your weed out of, I would say, but it works. In case you have nothing else, I guess this is an alternative to a blunt. I got that gas, bro.
You, as he claims somehow he knows that he's going to be indicted on Tuesday. Now, how he knows this,
maybe
I don't know. He says they were some kind of leaks. His legal team is saying that they don't know how he knows. This could easily just be a play for more campaign donations. But I want to talk about his actual statements and what he...
Bro, wait. I need a fucking tissue. Now, yo, let's go. Wait. Bro. one of the last tissues I got. I need a new box of tissues. Fucking anyway. Oh, by the way, let me read the comments. Is it really? That sounds fucking hilarious. If that's true, it's epic. Never heard of that, but that's fucking epic.
He said and what he asked his followers to do. And then I would love your feedback on that as well. Before we dive into that, please take a moment and like, subscribe, follow, do all of those things to help this channel grow. And even if you want to help more, go to jmcfarland.com, click on join the club, and become one of our subscribers. That helps pay for this particular broadcast. So thank you for that. And thank you to all of our club members. You're the ones that allow me to do this every day. So here is the story. Former President Donald Trump said Saturday he expects to be arrested in connection with the years-long investigation into a hush money scheme involving adult film actress Stormy Daniels, and called on his supporters to protest any such move. Now, if you don't know what this story is about, he wrote a check to Stormy Daniels just before the campaign to keep her quiet because he didn't want her coming out and telling her story before an election. And there is a question about whether or not this equals a campaign donation. If it was done to help the campaign, even if it came from his own checkbook in his own name, well, you can't pay for things that are for your campaign like hush money. So that's kind of what this is all about. But that's not what I want to focus on. In fact,
like, to be fair, I don't know the legal thing. I mean, I'll trust Tucker on this, right? I'm sure if he says there's a different story, I don't know anything about that. I'm not really gonna take sides on this. I don't really know. Like, it makes sense what Tucker said that no, actually it's not illegal. That it makes sense, but I know if he's saying it, I don't know.
What I've seen, I don't see a lot there. He may get indicted, but I really don't think that he is going to be convicted. Even if he was convicted, it would be for, the sentence would be a year or two. This is no big deal. I did see one story where they said he could be the first president serving from behind bars because there is no requirement that you can't have a criminal record.
Yeah. People actually do run from prison. But yeah, I'm sure he wouldn't be serving his term behind bars. Like, he would be let go the second he's president.
And so he actually could be a president behind bars, if you believe that. I want to focus on this statement where he called on his supporters to protest. Now,
that's funny because Marjorie Taylor Greene said the opposite.
I shouldn't be shocked. I keep telling you, Donald Trump has done so much to shock me that he can't do something else. But every single day,
I think what really seemed to start his downfall was when Ron DeSantis, someone that the GOP absolutely loved, like his fan base was the same fan base that Ron DeSantis had. When he started taking jabs at him and just completely opposing him, like treating him straight up as an enemy by every standard, just because he wouldn't back down, like pledge not to run in 2024. Like, as far as I've seen it, that I don't know, but it seems that was really the turning point where Trump lost a lot of the credibility he had within his party.
He proves me wrong. In this social media post, he referred to himself as the leading Republican candidate and former president of the United States. He said that he will be arrested on Tuesday of this week. He didn't say why, but this is what he said, quote, "It's time to protest and save America." I want you to think about what's going on in his mind right now. I want you to think about who he cares about most in this scenario. This is a man whose words and actions...
I mean, no. Actually, all of his words indicate that he cares about himself, because that's all that he talks about. Like, he talks about himself more than most people talk about himself. And I guess that's fair when one of his main points is, well, he can't really get that wrong. Like, the mainstream media went full-fledged brain dead retard over and just throwing stupid fit after stupid fit over the stupidest stuff. But yeah, it's fair that he keeps talking about himself when, like, the argument is really, no, like, I'm one of the top people and they want to shut me down. Like, shouldn't I get to be here and speak? And, shouldn't the people get to have to... Like, I get bringing up yourself in that context is the center of the argument. But, dude, from everything that I've seen be shown of Trump, he really, yeah, what he says in public does very well reflect on him being self-centered.
Led to the capital of the United States getting sacked. His actions led to an insurrection. And I'm not talking about the speech that day that he gave to all of those people and then said, we're going to go march to the Capitol. The language he used in that speech has been used by politicians for years. That's not the cause.
I don't even know what's a speech. I haven't heard anything about a fucking speech.
Cause is more than 2.5 months of election lies. Lies that have never been proven to be true. Lies that have been debunked. And to be honest,
it's not really a lie if you believe it. Like, if you say something you really believe is true, and it's like, his ego might have taken the better of him, the better of his logic there. He might have convinced himself of it. I mean, I don't think it's really fair to call it a lie when we're talking about him saying it, because I'm sure he really was just so like blown away by this that he couldn't bring himself to admit it to himself. He probably didn't believe that Joe Biden won the election. He was probably so baffled that he just couldn't fucking conceive.
Honest with you, his lies could have never happened in the first place if you know how election technology works. It just couldn't have happened.
Did he know? Because doesn't he know anything about fucking anything other than himself? It's like, the guy is sort of there to be like that so that CNN and the retards can be retarded and make fun of him. And fucking, it could just be that circle of retards. It's like, whether they're on a political stage, well, it's funny. It's entertaining. In fact, that's why I'm here. Yeah, that makes for some great clickbait and cancer, dude. Vegan. Yeah, again, I don't think you're murdering animals if you buy them from the store, but I think it's still a better thing to, like, not buy them, I think. In a world where no one bought them, they wouldn't be killed, and we don't need to do that, so... Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, fuck yes, dude. It's like, Well, I don't get why anybody would be an anti-Semite. Like, I mean, yeah, I get, because, like, Christianity, apparently the Jews, like, killed Jesus or whatever. That's so fucking stupid. It's like, dude, every Jewish person I've ever known, like, they were the kindest fucking people ever, to be honest. But I say to be honest at all. It's like, I should shut the fuck up about that.
Way. So here's a man whose words have already caused an attack on the nation's capital to try and stop a free and fair election, where people were saying, hang Mike Pence, where they were trying to get their hands...
To be fair, he didn't say, like, he did say, yeah, Mike Pence is, like, sort of a weak coward. It's sort of what he implied. He was like, yeah, Mike Pence is weak or something because he didn't overturn this election. Or, like, he shouldn't have done that. No, no one should do that in his position for any reason. That's not allowed. That's not what we should do either. But yeah, Trump believed that, so he said it because he's him. And most people aren't Trump, but Trump is Trump. That's why he was elected. But, yeah, dude, Trump definitely wasn't telling people to go chant that. I mean, maybe he, like, like, made the shit that, maybe said the shit that triggered people to be mad at Mike Pence, but him saying negative things about Mike Pence, and him having radical followers that from there take that to, let's go fucking hang this guy. It's not his fault there is radical followers. Just like it's not his fault nor Tucker Carlson's fault that there might be white supremacists who watch their channel. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of racists who watch MSNBC, since MSNBC, unlike Tucker Carlson, actually promote race hate openly.
On elected officials.
It's like, why would a racist normally want to see somebody who condemns racism? Which Tucker Carlson does, MSNBC. Well, they... It's pretty weird because they condemn racism, but then they condemn colorblindness as racist. So, sort of, like, it sort of defeats the purpose of them making that point. But it's sort of an oxymoron.
I'll tell you,
I already talked about that.
We are so lucky that they didn't get their hands. Can you imagine? Think about this. What do you think the protesters would have done if they would have gotten their hands?
Yeah, they would have, probably, the ones who were chanting hang Mike Pence, they probably would have hung him. But imagine, they actually get to him. Like, there are cops there to shoot at them if they get close enough. In fact, they shot Ashley Babbitt, who... I made a live stream reacting to that video footage. Ashley Babbitt didn't fucking cross. She was shot. TYT's footage that they showed, it showed her getting shot through the other side. It showed a body falling, and it hadn't crawled through the window. It wasn't on the other side of the fucking window. So they shot her, maybe for, like, preparing to climb through that hole or fucking whatever. I'm sure they would have shot anybody who got close to them. The whole military would have just run in. I'm sure they wouldn't have had time to hang him. Maybe if they wanted to shoot him, but they didn't have guns. Maybe if one of them, like, strangling him might have taken, well, less time than fucking hanging him, for sure. Like, police officers just have to shoot at the rope once, and it's fucking... Did they even bring a rope? I'm sure these retards who were chanting hang Mike Pence, not even one of them brought a rope. I'm sure, like... I mean... Dude, I don't know. Would they have found a rope in the Capitol? I mean, who knows? Maybe that's why Jacob's in jail, if I can remember his name. Maybe he was their secret weapon. He was just looking around the Capitol for a rope to hang Mike Pence. Like, I'm sure in reality he probably didn't even know that anyone was chanting that, because he was probably not over there at the time. He was probably in a different part of the Capitol, not hearing them. He was probably also too busy screaming himself. In a nice, friendly way, but just being himself, being epic, to hear any other fucking noise anyway.
On Mike Pence or on Nancy Pelosi? This is a question that never gets asked. Oh, they were just protesters. Oh, this wasn't a big deal. Trump's saying he's going to pardon.
I mean, it is a bit... the thing is, those who were violent those who committed violence, yeah, just like anyone who commits violence, they should be charged. I think that should be the same thing with the Black Lives Matter bias. Those who broke things, yeah, they should be charged for breaking these things. As anyone who breaks anything ever, yeah, they have to pay for that. It's like, same thing here. They shouldn't be allowed to break shit, for example. No. But, like, yeah. I mean, for sure, that was bad. January 6th was bad. In fact, Tucker will say that. Everybody will say that. Most people who are reasonable will say, yeah, January 6th, bad.
What do you think the protesters were going to do with Mike Pence? What do you think?
They were probably too stupid to have remembered to get a rope, so... No, unless one could find a rope somewhere. Like, I don't know. I know how they would have pulled that off.
Protesters were going to do
Maybe one of them had a scarf. They all had masks, which was pretty fucking hilarious considering, like, the rhetoric around masks from that party at
Hillary
the time.
Clinton. You think they were just going to sit him down and say, hey, Mike, do you think you could change your mind and send this back to the legislature? Pretty please. Do you think that you could do this? Come on. We know what their intent was. And if you're hiding that...
Yeah, sure, the people who were chanting hang Mike Pence. Yeah, sure, that was the intent. But, like, Jacob, for example, he's in jail. That's sort of what people are trying to point out when, like, the biggest person, Tucker Carlson, who's seen as a big apologist for that, even though he has openly said multiple times throughout the years, this is wrong. And he's even compared it to the Black Lives Matter riots, which everyone knows where he stood on that, clearly, right? But, like, what they're really trying to point out, most of these people, except for the insane ones, I'm sure Marjorie Taylor Greene is one of the insane ones, but, like, yeah, most reasonable right-wingers who were, like, being apologists of January 6th, as the left will call them, they, like, the left is missing the point, which is the non-violent ones. We're not trying to paint this as non-violent because some of it was non-violent. We're just adding context, and we're asking the question. That's why we're providing that context, actually. That's the question. Why are these people also in jail? Do you have footage of these specific people also committing violence? Because if not, guilty by association shouldn't be how the law works. Just because there were people in your area who had the same beliefs and were protesting the same cause, because some of them were violent, you should be arrested? No, that should never work that way. That's just insane. Even if January 6th, like, that was a big thing. That's just, like, for the sake of that, it's sort of like, yeah, in cases of war, we get to do extreme things and normally we wouldn't get. No, this is over. Now you can just treat them, you can treat them reasonably under the law. No reason to keep that shit going. Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude, I'm probably gonna end my stream, like, as soon as I'm done with this video. Oh, dude, it's so long. I can't help myself but fucking speak forever.
If you're denying that, then I think you're doing so because you know that what Trump did was wrong. You know that what the...
I completely disagree. If someone is supporting Trump, it's probably not because they know it's wrong, but they still... I mean, I think going at any angle with this, a large majority of people, with this, like, a good bit of the public who's gonna be on a specific side, just, like, associating all of these people, condemning all of them is, well, you just have a fake point of view. Well, that you're probably gonna be wrong, statistically speaking, because most people, including them, because including most fucking people, right, most people do not have fake point of views. Pretty much nobody has a fake point of view. That's not really a human thing. And the reason why they were so pro-Trump, he's not politically correct. They saw him as, yeah, this guy is a people's person. He's our man. And, yeah, he went on populist things. Like, why would most people just think, oh, yeah, he's actually a bad person. And we know that, but, like, we're still... I mean, I don't know why he's going on that.
Protesters and rioters and invaders did was wrong.
I don't think they know that. I think they just are letting themselves be fooled into that stuff because that's what they want to believe, and they want to believe, and they believe. And no, Trump was absolutely in the right here, and to deal with that, and they probably believe that it wasn't even violent at all.
But like, you hate to admit it because they were members of your party. When what you should be doing, in my opinion, is saying that anybody who was involved in violence or destruction or whatever that day is not a patriot.
I mean, most people, including Tucker Carlson, they're saying just that.
And should be held accountable. But you can also point out that that day there were millions of people who were Trump supporters and who did so peacefully and did not break into the Capitol. And it was the majority of protesters that day who followed the law. This is, to me, how you should look at January 6th. That would be a reasonable viewpoint. Just like when I would see a protest for Black Lives Matter, you had a large group of people who were peacefully protesting, and then you had people who were committing violence in the street. I always drew a distinction between the two groups, and that's what I think you can and should easily do with January 6th, but because it makes people feel uncomfortable, like,
most people, like Tucker Carlson, people would say on the extreme in this, like, there's not a saying that. Now, I sort of only look at Tucker Carlson, like, as a right-winger, but I'm guessing he's saying some of the right generally agrees
to my people.
I mean, I don't know.
Then we have to find excuses like, oh, they didn't really do anything that bad, or oh, it was Antifa, and Trump saying he's going to pardon them, and then he finally just recently admitted that it was wrong and blamed Mike Pence for the insurrection.
He didn't admit it was wrong. He just blamed Mike Pence.
Well, if he's blaming Mike Pence, then he must...
He's sort of implying that. I mean, he's just... Yeah, he's blaming Mike Pence. I
think that the insurrection was wrong.
No, he's just blaming Mike Pence, saying, well, if y'all are, like, so mad over this anyway, well, like, if you hadn't done that, it wouldn't have happened. Like, that's not him condemning it. It's just him, like, saying, especially since he's getting so much scrutiny over that. He's like, well, I wasn't even the one who started it. No, that's wrong. That's not true. And J-Mac actually debunked that claim, like, in detail in another video. But, yeah, yo, I don't know what video. I'm really high, but, yeah.
But at the same time, he's going to pardon the insurrectionists? Do you see what I mean? The doublespeak here that comes out of this man is unbelievable.
It's not that smart. He should say the non-violent ones. I'm going to, but it's not that.
But you would think that a reasonable person who cares about America, who cares about violence, who cares about protests, who has to know that his words caused an attack.
Dude, you're forgetting that the guy is dumb and claims that Joe Biden has dementia over his old age. Well, I'm pretty sure Trump was, at his time, the oldest sitting president. He might have been. Wait. No, now I need to check that. Yeah, I know. Okay, so he was 51. Okay, let's see. We got a lot of that. 60. We didn't see any 70s yet. Okay, I still don't see 70s. Let me see if oh yeah, that guy always looked so old, and the fact that he was bald just made him look even older, to be honest. Oh, it's 69. Donald J. Trump seems like he was the oldest president, and somehow the one right after him won him by a landslide. But wow, Donald Trump was also the oldest president ever at his time, so I mean, I don't know, dude. Maybe he has dementia too. How about that?
On the Capitol.
Like, anybody want to make that talking point? Let's make that a meme.
That the man would choose his words carefully. Did he choose his words carefully? No. He said it's time to protest and save America, as if his indictment for hush money payments is somehow destroying America. That's what he has deceived people into believing. That's the man that people are following. The man who has...
That's probably why Tucker Carlson fucking hates him.
No care or interest that his words may cause another protest and riot. And you know what's going to happen if there's an indictment, and it's already happening?
Probably.
There will be death threats against people in the grand jury if their names come out. There will be death threats against the prosecutor. There will be death threats of anybody involved in the proceedings. And somebody out there is going to try...
I'd say as long as those threats are online, it doesn't matter because you can turn off your computer if you're a pussy, but offline, that's a very different story. Yeah, I think they should definitely remain anonymous unless they want to...
and carry out those death threats, just like they did to Paul Pelosi and just like they did on January 6th. Does Donald Trump care about this?
I thought that all
no, not at all.
Yeah, Paul's a good guy.
He does not have a care in the world about anything but himself. This statement absolutely proves it. And if another insurrection is caused this time at the...
And I love that a right-winger can also be... Yeah, Trump is bad. Like, I don't really care about Trump or him being bad. I think he's more of a meme than anything. That's the only part of him that I care about. But, yeah, you don't have to like Trump to be on the right. Like, his, like, what he does sort of doesn't necessarily follow with the Republican Party's ideology. Like, no wearing masks during a pandemic. Now, of course, he didn't start that, but, yeah, he was just too, like, he was like, bro, I'm not gonna wear it, bro, fuck it. Even in public, it's like, I don't feel like wearing it, bro. I'm just, like, he was that type of guy. Most people aren't that type of guy. And everybody went on to just just fucking memeing him over it, like following that. If you're a Republican, well, do what Trump does. And that became an issue. Now, Trump didn't have direct involvement in that, but like, he sort of cultivated that type of behavior in base. So, yeah, that is fair. Like, the type of shit that Trump has brought to the Republican Party doesn't necessarily go along with the core beliefs of the Republican Party. It's not a populist party, and Trump is a populist type person, so...
The courthouse or somewhere...
Yeah, it's very fair if you're a Republican for you to say, yeah, I'm a Republican, but I don't agree with Trump. I don't agree with Ron DeSantis or Trump. This guy will say, yeah, the trans issue, yeah, and trans people should get to transition if they fucking want to. They should get to public schools. Why is there all this shit about them being pedophiles? What the fuck is that about? Yeah, how many people assaulted at drag queen events? Sexually assaulted? Yeah, okay.
What, is he gonna is he gonna pardon those people as well?
Wait, who?
Who's he? And if another insurrection is caused this time at the courthouse or somewhere else, what, is he gonna is he gonna pardon those people as well? Who's he gonna blame for that? Well, he'll blame the prosecutor. And there's one other thing that I want to point out, and I've talked about this a little bit, but Donald Trump is the biggest victim of planet Earth. He plays the victim card better than anyone I've ever seen.
And to be honest, it was entirely justified back when there was a CNN thing. I would have just memed them. But yeah, of course he took it personally because he's...
And what happens is his victimhood rubs off on his followers. He's
to be
not
honest,
the only
what is the Black Lives Matter movement about? Like, virtue signaling your victimhood. Like, just for, look at my victimhood. I inherited that from my grandparents. But you white people didn't get that shit, did you now? Let me rub that in your face, bro. Oh, but we're supposed to be complaining about, like, you inheriting shit. Oh, well, let's just turn that around. Well, you got, I know, you statistically on average inherited more money than us statistically on average. I mean, we could just climb up the ladders and get to say we have deserved it more. I mean, that's sort of something that I would be prouder of in life, to get to say, well, I started from less and I made it further up. Because it's only up so high that a lot of people choose to go. And getting to say you started from nothing, I think that's pretty nice, to be honest. Yeah, let's just, wave that victim card, bro. I have that, like,
victim.
I mean,
he
the
makes
left
you
does it
believe
too.
that if he's being victimized, then that means you're being victimized.
Well, I am making it too quick here, so I feel like I might have been making those a lot. Like, his point wasn't that Democrats
But
don't
it's
do
not
it.
true. The fact that he
he literally is a consumer. Dude, I'm so fucking...
Be
I don't know what the
underinvest-
fuck I'm saying. Okay, there's none new... Right.
investigation, the fact that he may say ridiculous things so the media covers it, that has nothing to do with you. But him and the victimized Republicans want you to believe that you are being victimized just like he is. Well, you didn't pay hush money to Stormy Daniels. You didn't call Georgia 3 times and ask them to change their numbers and find an exact number of votes. You didn't do any of those things.
Dude, where does he get to will there be violence?
Why would you feel like you're a victim?
I'm
Well,
just
because
wrong,
you
so-
supported him. And so now you get this feeling inside and you have to defend it. And there are two choices when that happens to you. You either have to come around and realize that a man you supported is doing something wrong, or you have to yell louder and kick louder and attack those who are making you feel this way, because it's very hard to come around and
I don't think they feel that way.
Say, I have to admit, and you
disagree.
don't even have to admit that you were wrong. You can just say, I changed my mind on this one particular thing because I don't agree with what Trump is doing here.
And I like the fact that he's able to do that. He can say, yeah, on like the trans rights issue, I'm absolutely with that. But women, like trans women in women's sports, that is sort of a separate issue as to affirming them. Yeah, like women who have just transitioned, they tend to like have higher testosterone and so like the bodily functions that might give you an unnatural disadvantage when it comes to you being in like sports. Like it's there, even if you look like a woman, even if people like this isn't an argument against affirming trans people. Like there are, like for example, Vegan Gains has pointed that out. There are amputees. Like certain sports ban amputees from competing in a certain in these sports on a competitive level because like if you're missing one of your legs, like in those sports, you have a huge natural disadvantage. Like in terms of power, so something like that. Like it's not them saying that amputees are not really men or are not really human beings. Like that's sort of just not, that's sort of off topic. That's not the point. So yeah, like he'll be able to say, yeah, I disagree with that. I'll disagree with my party on this, but I will agree on this part of that thing. Like he doesn't go with whatever cookie cutter opinion is thrown at him. So you can count on this guy to like not just take whatever's in his echo chamber that's being thrown at him. And so yeah, that sounds pretty fair from that perspective. Let me repeat it. It's, to be fair, I do that a lot, but I will look at all the sides to like draw a fucking opinion from. So yeah, I like this guy. Apparently he used to be a conservative talk show host.
Trump supporter and still believe
insane.
That his election lies caused January 6th. I know people who have this belief system. You can be a Trump supporter and see that when other people have problems with what he's done, you can at least say, well, I recognize why you would feel that way. I still, and people have said this to me, and there's nothing I can say to them. They say, look, I know he's done a lot of bad things, but I still would choose him over Hillary or...
Yeah, and a lot of people might say that because, like, they're pro-life, for example. That's why, like, a lot of people, at least back then, when Roe v. Wade wasn't overturned, they would say, no, like, I think abortion is murder. That's, like, one of the only issues. And, yeah, like, on that type of stuff, it's, like, it's gonna be hard to change someone's mind on these types of issues. I mean, I'm pro-choice, but I understand the pro-life position.
I understand
I get it.
That language. I understand that you feel like you don't have a lot of choices. It's when people get in the place where Trump is like a god and can do no possible wrong. Well, he's right here encouraging more protests. Wouldn't you learn?
I mean, I guess that is fair, but yeah, he should have every right to say that. Like, he's not saying protest violently, but to be fair, that is the fair point. Like, last time, what did he say? March peacefully and patriotically, and that's what they did. But I mean, they're bringing him to prison and he thinks it's on bogus charges. He has every right to believe that. We just saw Tucker Carlson cover that. I'm not gonna go back over it. And he's like, no, this is an outrage what's being done to me. I don't even think I could condemn him for saying, yeah, what's being done to me is wrong, especially with his high ego. He's not even gonna, like, second guess that. He sees, like, yeah, these are sort of bogus charges. Like, might as well be fucking tax evasion, but it's even more dumb and fucking gay and shit. But yeah, he sees like these charges is sort of gay. I don't like that. Like, he's mad over it. He might be brought to prison. Why wouldn't he be mad? I don't even think that's an unfair reaction for anyone to have when they think they're being wrongfully taken to prison and they're a public figure. They would tell their friends that.
Wouldn't you?
Like, any Black Lives Matter protester who's told, yeah, for being in this Black Lives Matter thing where other people were rioting, you're gonna be thrown in jail. Any public figure was there and is told that, they'll go and tell their people, go protest for me.
Wouldn't you say, you know, I'm gonna be more careful with my words next time?
I mean, to be fair, he sort of was careful. He said march peacefully and patriotically, and I mean, yeah, I guess he's sort of a dum-dum. What can you expect from him? I mean, it's fair to hold him to higher standards when he's president, but that whole thing of holding presidents to high standards, it's like, look at what we have between Trump and Biden. It's like, Biden is doing much better than Trump, obviously, but, like, I mean, everybody criticizes them from both sides. Both parties criticize them.
No, not Trump. Not Trump. And I think...
And to be fair, I think the biggest criticism of Biden is he's one way on stage and he, like, the policies he enacts, like, he will pretend, oh yeah, bro, like, these immigrants, they should have all the... Like, he would pretend on stage to be really pro-immigration. He's more conservative on the border than fucking Trump was. Like, shouldn't he at least address that discrepancy between him and what his base clearly would believe, in general? Like, dude, I think that is a huge criticism of Biden, that, like, a lot of these corporate Democrats, they'll just sign into law a lot of stuff that, like, it just goes against their party's fundamental fucking beliefs. And of course they fucking vote these people in, fucking of course. The fuck, libtards. What do you think they're gonna do? Like, no shit, right? But, dude, I'm so fucking high. But, yeah, like, I think, I mean, even though I would agree with the right wing, I do agree with capitalism. I'm glad these corporate Democrats are signing in these tax cuts and shit or whatever they're signing in. Apparently they support most Republican policies. Like, most of the time they vote with Republicans on, like, Senate bills, all that type of shit. So, yeah, I think Biden should address that. Well, is he so conservative on the border? Would his party agree with that or not?
I personally think he hopes that he gets indicted. I mean, I've seen people asking, will it damage Trump if he gets indicted? I think it's one of the best things that could ever happen to him, because he gets to play the victim again. He gets to blame the government again. He gets to say that this is all part of the witch hunt against him. I guarantee you, the day he's indicted, millions and millions of dollars will come rolling in. And so, as far as this type of indictment, he's not worried about it at all.
Oh, yeah,
now, if he gets indicted for election fraud or tampering, there are parts of that law that say he could not hold public office again. So that type of conviction, that could really hamper his desire to run for president again. But this Stormy Daniels thing, it's almost a nothing to see here, except in power
to be fair, if that is what he's like, yeah, if that is, then it's only gonna be like max 1 to 2 years if it even happens. If claiming it's gonna happen, then it's not like he probably believes in what he's, because he sort of is a drama king. Sort of like CNN, who just like meme. They just parody him, to be honest. Like, that's the exact political landscape we needed. That's why I'm here, in fact. But, yeah, like, that is fair to see. Like, if you think Donald Trump is smarter and that he's doing that on purpose, it would be very fair to think, like, yeah, he's just planning that as the next strike to get to play the victim, and I think he's doing it subconsciously. He doesn't realize he's
That's
doing
why
it.
I
think
wish
his brain is sort of wired to do that with his ego and stuff.
I wish they wouldn't have pursued it.
Which
I mean, I
think
want
it's completely
justice.
fine to have a high ego. You just have to live up to it, which
I want the
Trump
laws to be enforced.
gay.
But they're empowering this man, and this man is empowering people to protest. And, you know, protests are fine. Protests. But
peacefully.
We've seen that when he calls for a protest, it may have a tendency to turn into something worse.
Not his fault, though.
And so they're going to have to beef up security. It's going to cost taxpayers all kinds of extra money to, you know, to do this.
I just think the fact
it
that
is
Trump
so reckless.
Like,
And I don't believe that
care about
any
all
man
that.
on
Like,
the
and to be honest, have another January 6th, as long as I get to meme it, XD. As long as, like, there's one person who dies, and in fact it's a protester. 5 police officers died from January 6th, except one of them died of a heart attack, and the rest died from suicide after January 6th. So, yeah, it's like, dude, you know how many people died from desegregation? I'm sure so many people who were alive back, like, when with segregation, I'm sure so many of them are dead. You know how many people desegregation killed, buddy? It's like...
planet who is so willfully reckless.
I just try to make shit up, especially when January 6th, it was a bad thing. Most people sort of agree, even Tucker Carlson agrees with that. Like, why you gotta make up, like, oh, bro, so people died, and Tucker Carlson covered that. No, one of them died of a heart attack, the others killed
at the helm of
afterwards.
This country. He has shown no judgment to me that makes me feel like he should be at the top. And I'll just add one more thing. I do not think he has a chance to win a general election. Anybody who thinks that,
polls apparently show that
I don't know where you get that, because number one, he's running under the same system as last time, and this is something I've mentioned before. He's not calling for a change in the election system. He hasn't called for new machines. He hasn't suggested changes in the law. So if everything stays the same, then why can't they steal the election from him again? He's just decided, well, I'm going to run under the same system. Now, this should be a sign to you that there was no election fraud. If he's just running under the same system, that's a clue that he knows there was no election fraud. Now, I think he has the best chance to win the Republican primary.
Maybe it's just stupid.
But he has no chance of winning a general election. And the reason for that is he has created more opposition than he has created support. And this is what happens when you have... when
you fucking turn on your biggest fucking allies, the people who are most prominent and most well-liked, on your own side, like Ron DeSantis. And I really feel like that, like, from when he did that, people started turning on him.
In politics that become about personalities. You get somebody who can generate an incredibly loyal following.
Really doesn't, impersonate the Republican Party's, core beliefs. Ben Shapiro does a much, much better job at that. Much better.
There's no doubt that's what he's done. But in order to do that, you also create an incredibly loyal opposition. That's why he lost to sleepy Joe Biden. Now, there's only one way Trump supporters can justify that he lost to sleepy Joe Biden. And
imagine if he had to go up against Bernie Sanders.
Election fraud, the election was stolen. But Trump's own actions tell you that he knows the election wasn't stolen, or he wouldn't be running under the same system again. So the belief that Trump somehow is going to win in 2024 against Joe Biden or anybody else is just ridiculous. There's nothing in the world to back that up. If anything, he will be beat even stronger than before because his support is not as strong as it used to be. He still has the fanatical right, and that's enough people to win primaries. We learned that from the midterm elections. The people that he endorsed for primaries, they won. But they were terrible general election candidates, and they lost. And that's what's going to happen in the general election. So here you have Donald Trump calling for protests, not learning his lesson, and going down a road to run for president again under the same system that he says he lost an election to because it was stolen.
If he said that, that's...
And you may have a president
that
who's
is
serving from behind bars. I don't know,
He'd
man.
get taken out of
know.
jail immediately.
That is the
like,
world
he could literally just spawn himself.
we live in, my friends. Anyway, thank you for listening. Please take a minute, like, share, subscribe, follow, all of those great things.
Well, I think it's pretty late. I'm gonna check my comments one last time, and do a wiggle. Oh, twerking? No, that's gay. XD. So thank you for... why am I still getting these fucking notifications? Gay? So, yeah, hopefully y'all have enjoyed the stream. I'm going to end it now, so... yeah, it was a good stream. I'm gonna peace out now. Peace. Peace. Alright.